after wrapping up the NATO summit in Spain. He'll meet with French President Emmanuel Macron as he continues to patch up relations following the controversial submarine deal. Mr Albanese says it's time for a fresh start.
On the 1st of July is an appropriate time with the new year to enter a new dawn and a new arrangement between Australia and France.
Free flu vaccines will be on offer for another month. The state government yesterday announcing a last-minute extension to the program. South Australians will now be able to roll up their sleeves for a free dose until July 31. The 24-hour COVID testing site at Victoria Park is getting ready to close its doors. It will shut at 9 this morning to make way for Adelaide 500 works. The replacement site is located at Edwards Park on Anzac Highway. The vaccination site at Manopara is also shutting up shop today, while vaccine at sites at the Myer Centre, Kilkenny and Enfield will cease tomorrow. A protest will be staged in the city during peak hour tonight. The Adelaide Abortion Action Rally will start at Beehive Corner at 5 and make its way to Parliament House. Abortion rights activists and unions are taking to the streets following the US Supreme Court overturning of Roe v Wade. The consequence is a number of American states seeking to ban or restrict abortion access. Speakers tonight will include Tammy Franks MLC. And the US Supreme Court has issued a ruling limiting the government's ability to regulate emissions from power plants. The BBC's Sarah Smith is in Washington.
19 mostly Republican states were worried that the Environmental Protection Agency would force them to move away from using coal for power generation. The Supreme Court has decided the agency cannot do this unless Congress votes to clearly say it authorises this power, and it has already rejected plans to limit carbon emissions.
Now to 5AA Sport.
New Mitsubishi Triton with 10-year warranty, 10-year capped price servicing at Agostino Mitsubishi, Nailsworth and Elizabeth.
And it's good morning to Jace Kemp.
And a good morning to you, Mel. Let's start with footy, and Jace Burgoyne is on the verge of making his power debut. He's one of 5 named in Port's extended squad. Well, the Crows have made 3 changes. Riley Thilthorpe returns after a week on the sidelines, along with Lockie Murphy and Chase Jones. Meantime, Brisbane defeated the Western Bulldogs by 41 points last night. Skippers Dane Zorko and Daniel Rich suffered injuries before half-time. Lions coach Chris Fagan says the result was more than pleasing after losing key players.
The boys rose to the occasion. We talked about the final here last year and how disappointed we were to lose by a point. And this was a bit of an opportunity to get a little bit of redemption, I suppose. Not massive, but a little bit. And that's what our boys were able to do.
To tennis, and Nick Kyrgios is through to the next round at Wimbledon. He defeated 26 seed Filip Krajinovic in straight sets. He faces Stefano Tsitsipas next, who beat fellow Aussie Jordan Thompson.
I'm excited. I feel like we've both earned the right. We're 2 of the biggest stars in the sport. Hopefully if we both bring our best tennis, it's going to be amazing to watch.
Ayla Tomljanovic also won in straight sets. Finally, in the cricket, Australia is 8 for 313 on day 2 of the first test against Sri Lanka. The Aussies lead by 101 runs. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now the 5AA forecast.
Hitachi Air Conditioners. Be comfortable all year round. Visit hitachieaircon.com.au now.
Heading for a top of 15 today, partly cloudy. Cloudy tomorrow 14. Sunday, partly cloudy 14. And Monday 15. Right now, it's 11 degrees. More news as it happens on 5AA.
You're listening to 5AA Breakfast. Jade Robran and Tom Wren.
Good morning. It is 5 minutes past 6 o'clock. If that's not going to pump us up, nothing will. To kick off our Friday. Good morning to you, Tommy Wren. How are you?
Yeah, really good. Thanks, Jade. Always great to get to Friday, the end of the working week. So excited for the weekend. Footy's coming. Round 16 started last night, and so much other stuff to talk about today. So looking forward to sinking our teeth into it.
Well, we're still here, which means that none of us won the $60 million.
Oh, no, disappointing, right?
Do you know someone did?
One person in Canberra.
One lucky prick did.
Yeah.
Can you believe it? And he actually picked up the phone. Can you imagine if your phone rings at 8:30, your heart would just skip a beat, wouldn't it? You'd be thinking, hello.
It'd be a number I imagine you wouldn't recognise, whether it's a private number or, I'm not sure what the area code is in Canberra, but that feeling when you get the call, you wouldn't believe it. It would just... I'm not actually registered with SA Lotteries, so I would be one of those that goes into the petrol station or whatever to zap it and check it. But
and then
I've
all
got
the
my
streamers
ticket,
and all the balloons fall down.
Yeah, I had a Powerball ticket for last night, but
See, I didn't.
I'm hoping I'll get something, but it won't be much.
However, I had already spent the $60 million
In
my head, of course, but it was gone.
It's gone.
Yeah, and I don't know that I was
one.
coming to sit opposite you today.
Yeah. If there's another big one, Jade, you've got to be in it to win it.
Well, that's exactly right.
That's what losers like me say every time.
The guy, when he picked up the phone, though, he said, I can't believe it. I'm going to have a heart attack. You know what? I had a feeling it was the lot calling me. I thought, they're going to call me at 8:30 p.m. tonight. Wow, wow, wow. So if this guy knows he can read the future, I need to get this guy's number.
Yeah.
And you know, I need to get the lotto numbers from him next time because he can clearly predict the future.
Well,
he knew they were ringing.
He needs to get me the sports almanac from Back to the Future, like Michael J. Fox did. So maybe he can do that for me when he comes along with those numbers.
I love that you've actually won the lotto, though. You're the only person I know that's won significantly. I remember there was a Robberin Christmas, and I wasn't at this Robberin Christmas. The rest of the family was, and everyone had a scratch sheet. And they won. They won significantly at the table. And so everybody around the table got 10 grand each. And I was like, oh, hey, come on, me
Really?
over here. Well, I had to work, so I wasn't at the table.
How about that?
So I didn't get cut in. So anyway, people do win. But so what's the deal with that, though? Imagine if you went halves with somebody or gifted them a ticket. I think that's what happened the last significant win.
Yeah.
The lady that won big time, I think it was 40 million this time, she was gifted the ticket. How much would you have handed over to the person that gave it to you? Or would you run away?
Yeah, I don't think I could ever gift someone a ticket for that reason because
It's too dangerous.
Yeah, what happens if that ends up being the winning ticket? You know, I don't think you're actually then entitled to claim any, really. It's a gift.
It is.
But I think, look, of course you would give them something. You have to. So if you won 60 million, would you give them half? No.
Yeah. Well, I say yes right now because I don't have it. But
would you give them 10%? I don't know.
You'd have to give them something.
What's the going rate?
Well, speaking of money, nearly 3 million Aussies on the minimum wage, Tom, will see their pay packet bumped up today. The Fair Work Commission's annual wage review, it comes into effect. Of course, today is the new financial year, pinch and a punch. The minimum wage, it's going to be increased to $812.60 a week. That works out to around $21.38 an hour. That's $40 a week. Now, I know that every bit counts, but with the inflation rate outpacing wage growth, it's actually, how much is it actually going to help people? I get it, $40 a day, $40 a week? I don't know.
It's exactly right. I mean, inflation, 5% in the last quarter, and it's the reason why interest rates are, or one of the major reasons interest rates are going up fairly rapidly at the moment. So you just wonder how much impact it's going to have. Of course, it's going to be better than what it was, but it's still going to make it very tough to make ends meet when inflation is going at the pace that it is. The other thing that's happening today...
It's only 4 lettuces.
Yeah, that's right. The other thing that's happening today, Jade, end of financial year and July 1st, start of the new financial year, is SA seniors will be able to travel free on public transport from today. It's part of the Peter Malinauskas election promise, so that also comes into effect as of today. So July 1st, end of financial year, tax time, so some early birds will probably want to get straight in. To be honest, I've only just done my tax return from the last financial year, so I'm actually thinking of just going from one straight into the next one and getting them done back to back.
I'm not a numbers person, and this just, my eyes glaze over when we start talking about tax, and I wouldn't have a clue how to do it.
I can't do it
interest
either.
In it.
No, I now have to actually get an accountant because I've got a couple of employers.
Mr. Moneybags. Yeah, that's right. You're everywhere, Tommy.
But I need to know how to juggle the books because I don't want to be Al Capone style and getting done for tax evasion.
I had a mystery at my house yesterday, Tommy. I went to go get the clothes off the line, and my undies have gone missing.
No.
Yes, they have gone missing. And this morning I'm walking around, I'm like, where is everything? I swear I washed, a whole lot yesterday. And then I realised they're just not there. They're not anywhere. And I couldn't wake up my husband to ask. Well, no, it's a couple of pairs. And then Lucy asked me this morning and she said, does that freak you out, Jade? And I said, well, it should freak me out, but in a weird, twisted way, I'm kind of flattered. But it got me thinking, what's a weird thing that's just mysteriously disappeared from your house? Because they do. I've got a yum-yum hole in my laundry where the odd socks just mysteriously disappear.
I don't know what happens to socks. It's really strange, isn't it? But they go disappearing and missing all the time.
All the time, it is.
But this undies epidemic, this isn't good.
Well,
I'm a bit with Lucy. It's a bit creepy.
Okay, everyone's so I should be creeped out by it.
Well,
I'm
at least
really
they're clean. They're clean. So that's good.
We've got a couple of tickets to give away to Illuminate, which kicks off this weekend, actually, tonight in the city. A lot of fun things to go and see. We'll talk to the directors of Illuminate very soon. But what's mysteriously disappeared from your life or your home? Call in and let us know, 8223 0000, or you can flick us through a text message on the Automasters text line 0448 08 1395. We're going to take a short break, but first we'll get some sport headlines with Tommy. No, we'll come back.
We'll come back and do that in a moment,
Beautiful.
Shall we?
Let's do that.
Soak up the winter rain and huge savings at Vidula's Garden Centre's massive end of financial year sale. Get 20% off everything in store. That's 20% off outdoor furniture and barbecues, 20% off all plants, 20% off pots and potting mix, 20% off giftware and homewares. Yes, that's 20% off everything. On now till Sunday, July 3rd, Vidula's Garden Centre's end of financial year sale, Main North Road, Gawler, opposite the racecourse. Some conditions apply.
1 in 4 Australian women experience domestic violence in their lifetime. Staying is dangerous, but leaving can mean homelessness for them and their children. With your generosity, the Salvos can provide crisis services and ongoing support, helping women find a way out of violence and a way back into a safe and stable life. Please donate to the Red Shield Appeal at salvationarmy.org.au to help the Salvos leave no one in need.
It's okay to want more, which is why more and more people choose Mawson Lakes Volkswagen to service their car, especially Volkswagen owners. At Mawson Lakes Volkswagen, we offer state-of-the-art servicing, complimentary loan cards, next-day servicing, and breakfast or lunch is on us. Why? Because when you're Adelaide's newest Volkswagen dealer, you want to give more. Mawson Lakes Volkswagen, just a short drive from the city. Visit mawsonlakesvw.com.au and book your service today.
9 News has the experience to break the news. Made in Adelaide, for Adelaide. 9 News. You're listening to 5AA Breakfast. Jade Robran and Tom Wren.
Good morning, it's 13 minutes past 6 o'clock. Jade Robran and Tom Wren in the chair for Will and Dave, who are on holidays. Today is my last day. Tommy, you're joined by another guest.
Michael Smith, he's going to be coming in, so really looking forward to Smithy coming on the show. He did a great job with you a few weeks back when I think both of the boys came down with COVID in a very...
Well, we thought that they did.
Well, we thought... Dave
Will thought that he did.
Yeah, but it was just a scare in the end, wasn't it?
I think he just wanted to sleep in.
No, plenty of years of experience.
Or he went out in sympathy with his mate.
Yeah.
That's how close they are.
He said, if he's not on, I'm not on either. But no, he'll be great. He's got loads of experience, very sharp. He does his flashback segments,
in a
of
moment.
course, with the boys.
Yep.
So can't wait to work with him. Although I'm going to be sad to see you go, Jade. Although you've got some holidays.
I do. I'm going to take a quick break. We're heading over to Tassie, which will be just beautiful. So if anyone, I've never ever been. So if there's anybody listening that has been and has got a few little, places, some little hidden gems, I'd love you to let me know where we should go, because we're working on a bit of an itinerary at the moment. Because as you know, travel is crazy. Everything's booked out. So we've left it to the last minute, of course, as we do in our household. Lots of messages coming in, actually, of people that have bought tickets and given them away, and the other person has won. Oh dear, we'll get to a few of those in a minute. But some headlines for today. The Victoria Park COVID testing clinic will close at 9 a.m. today. It's been moved to the corner of Anzac Highway and Green Hill Road at Edwards Park. The new drive-through testing clinic, it'll be open from 9 a.m. to 10:30 p.m. 7 days a week. The Manapara Clinic also closes today. It's a little bit bittersweet. I know, we're moving on and that's all well and good, but it's been part of our life for so long. I've spent many hours lining up in that place waiting for a stick to be shoved up my nose.
Yeah, I reckon I've been there twice at least, maybe 3, but then I've been to a couple of others as well. But you're right, Jade, I think most people have probably been there at least on one occasion. And look, I think in a way, great that we can move on, but it has been, great to have it so conveniently close for a lot of people anyway.
Oh, and massive shout out to the nurses and doctors of pathology that have been standing there 24 hours a day throughout the cold, dealing with sick people, a lot of nervous people, a lot of people that probably haven't been so nice to them. They've been lining up for hours. They get to the front of the line and they're cranky. So you guys have done an incredible job. So thank you for that. There's also a major update to the National Cervical Screening Program in a world first. Australia is offering self-testing swabs to women due to their screening. Those aged 25 to 74 will be able to collect their own sample to test for HPV, the human papilloma virus, rather than undergo a speculum examination at the GP or with a nurse. Now, Tommy, I know that you don't know anything about this, but hallelujah, this is a good thing for women.
Okay, well,
we don't have to get into details,
brilliant.
But it is a good thing.
I'm going to take your word for it.
Also from today, as we mentioned before, the income threshold has officially been scrapped, meaning employers must make super contributions to all eligible staff, which is great news. The rate of payment has also been increased from 10% to 10.5%. Treasurer Jim Chalmers says they're on track to reaching a 12% target by 2025.
The former government put that trajectory at risk, and that would have come at great cost to Australian workers who need and deserve a dignified retirement. We are proud to see the increase in the superannuation guarantee begin.
And the PM, he's now in Paris after wrapping up the NATO summit in Spain. Anthony Albanese is in Paris. He is confident France and Australia can work productively well into the future. He'll be patching up relationships with the French President Emmanuel Macron following the controversial submarine deal. Mr Albanese says it's time for a fresh start.
On the 1st of July is an appropriate time with the new year to enter a new dawn and a new arrangement between Australia and France.
And we will touch base with Phil Coorey and talk federal politics and a little bit more in the show.
Yeah, I mean, that's obviously been a tricky one, when that submarine deal was done and France was sort of left out in the cold, and now Anthony Albanese comes in, so I'm sure there's a bit of bridge mending that's happening, but Phil Coorey will be all over that when we catch up with him in the next hour or so.
Well, they weren't happy. The French, they did not like us at all. If you're in the city tonight during peak hour, you'll come face-to-face with a protest on King William Street. The Adelaide Abortion Action Rally will start at Beehive Corner in the mall at 5. It'll make its way to Parliament House, and abortion rights activists and unions are taking to the streets following the US Supreme Court overturning Roe v. Wade, where a number of American states are seeking to ban or restrict abortion cases. And also, an international study has found astronauts on long missions experience the equivalent of 10 years of age-related bone density loss. Yikes. The study of shin bones reveals astronauts who went on space missions for longer than 6 months had subsequently less bone recovery than those in space for less than 6 months. Whoa, that's not great.
It can't be good for you. I mean, I guess if you're going at astronomical speeds, the body's sure to cop a bit of a pounding, so that's definitely what seems to be the case. Science is now proving that.
Yeah. Well, Tommy, we've got lots of messages coming through, and if you'd like to join the program, any topic at all, Automaster's text line is open 0448 08 1395. Good morning, Jade and Tom. I forgot to get a ticket for my mother-in-law for Oz Lotto and gave her my ticket, never saying I hadn't purchased an extra ticket. She won over $4,000. Oh, Roger.
Oh, I hope she took you out for dinner, Roger, afterwards. That's a nice little win, though, isn't it? Another one. Morning, guys. Not only did the winner, this is last night, the winner in Canberra, a father, family man, win the $60 million, but got an extra $700,000 plus change, winning 19 Division 2 payouts at $36,924 each. That one from Adrian. Well, that could be your party bill, couldn't it? $700,000. Take all your friends and family.
On a yacht.
On a yacht, yeah, exactly. Go
somewhere warm.
Yep.
We were talking about my undies disappearing off the clothesline.
Yes.
And we put the call out to what's mysteriously disappeared from your life. My passport and my motorbike keys have disappeared in the last 6 months. I blame the kids, from JB. Good morning. What disappeared from my house? I came home and found that my wife had disappeared. Not only had she gone, but she took half the house too. With some laughing emojis. Obviously, some time has passed and we can look back on that situation and have a laugh about it.
Yeah.
That's not ideal.
I'm sure at the time probably wasn't so humorous, but good to see sense of humour's returned since then.
Neil from Plimpton, I lost my sister's house keys. Oh, losing keys is never
tough.
good.
Yeah, because at least with a phone you can ring it and, you're a chance of finding it. But the keys...
Annoying. But they're always in the last place you look.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly.
Boom, boom, ching. I just got a filthy look from Sam there going, that was a really bad dad/mum joke. Let's get some... There you go. Hey, fast fingers today. Let's get a sports update. New Mitsubishi Triton with 10-year warranty, 10-year cap price servicing at Agostino, Mitsubishi, Nailsworth and Elizabeth, Tom.
We'll start with some tennis, Jade, because Wimbledon, it is all on at the moment at the All England Club, and Nick Kyrgios played overnight. Now, we know he had that first up win against Paul Jubb, the local, won that in 5 sets. Looked a little bit sluggish. Well, last night was a far cry from that, and this is what he's so capable of. He dropped only 6 games in the 3 sets. He demolished the 26th seed. He honestly made him look like an amateur out there. It was a brilliant performance. And Kyrgios pretty happy to beat Filip Krajinovic in straight sets. And I reckon he was pretty happy with his work as well, Jade. Let's have a listen to him post-match.
I've been playing some really good tennis over the last month, so I was really surprised, the way I played the other day. It wasn't great, but... there's a lot of positives. I didn't play anywhere near my best and got through it. And today, obviously, I was kind of in my zone, just great body language, just played well. And, I just wanted to remind everyone that I'm pretty good.
Fig jam.
He's not bad, is he? And then I think he said in a later comment as well that the media turns pretty quickly. I don't know about that, Nick. I think most people have sort of questioned... your temperament for a while now. Great that you won.
He turns pretty quickly. 1 minute he's loving the everyone in the crowd and wants to pump them up, and then the next he's saying, "Oh, you're all abusive and I want to kick you out."
It's crazy. But him and Thanasi Kokkinakis, funnily enough, he was complaining pre-tournament saying best of 5 matches are ridiculous in doubles. It's been like that at Wimbledon, as we heard. We spoke some tennis earlier in the week with Todd Perry, I think it was.
Yes.
And he said that's what it's been for 130 years. Anyway...
Sorry, mate, we're not changing the rules just for you.
They've decided to withdraw. So I wonder whether or not...
Lala.
I wonder if that was one of the reasons, or whether perhaps there was concerns about the singles as well, but...
That's really stupid on their behalf, because I don't know about you, but watching them at the Australian Open, I know they were extremely polarising, but they were a marketer's dream, and they put bums on seats, like it or not, and they attracted a whole new generation of tennis fans. Yeah, they were rowdy, yeah, it was crazy. The real tennis enthusiasts, didn't like it. But, I mean, if you're running an organisation, they are exactly what you want.
They're box office.
Totally box office.
Yeah.
And, I mean, why wouldn't you do everything you possibly could to have them on the court in Wimbledon where everybody's watching? That could have turned the whole face of doubles.
Yeah, it would have been great to see them in action there, but sadly they will not be playing in the doubles. There's still matches happening at the moment, Jade. So Alex de Minaur is currently on court now. That's another Aussie. 19th seed, he's playing John Draper, a local. 4th set, he is up 2 sets to 1. De Minaur after dropping the first set, and he is up 5-3 in the 4th set. So it's 30-all at the moment. Draper is serving. He has got the break of serve, so even if Draper holds there, he will have a chance to serve for the match. So
I rate the Demon.
The Demon's good, isn't he? Let's hope that he can take that one out and move through to the next round, but he is going along very, very nicely. Jason Kubler, he also had a win last night, so that's really good. Another Aussie man through to the 3rd round. So the Aussie men are going pretty well at the moment, which is fabulous to see. Jordan Thompson, not surprisingly, he went down to Stefanos Tsitsipas, who won in straight sets, so a bit tougher work there for him. We've only got the one woman left. It's Isla Tomljanovic on the women's side of things. So got to be tough for her, but hopefully she can carry the flag, and she's certainly doing it the right way. She won overnight. 6-2, 6-2 against little-known American Catherine Harrison. So good to have a woman and a couple of men through to the 3rd round at Wimbledon. That is great. Cricket was on last night as well, Jade. The Aussies are going along pretty nicely in this test match against Sri Lanka over there in Galle. Sri Lanka all out for 212 first innings. The Aussies 8 for 313, so lead by 101 runs with 2 wickets in hand. They had to delay the start of play by about 3 hours because there was such severe storm warnings and winds. It was basically the sight screen got damaged really badly.
Is this where the stadium collapsed?
Yeah, well, they had parts of the stadium and the temporary grandstands blowing over. It was pretty wild over there. They were able to clean it up and get play started, so that was the good news. Cameron Green, who's going to be a great player for a long time, he top scored with 77. Usman Khawaja, 71. Sadly, Travis Head was out for 6, which was the score he resumed on. Pat Cummins and Nathan Lyon at the crease, but the Aussies going along pretty well there. And the teams are out and the squads for Port Adelaide because they don't play until Sunday. Mm-hmm. We're talking to Orazio Fantasia a little bit later on.
Yeah, a bit of a question mark going on, a bit of a mystery surrounding old Orazio, isn't there? So we'll ask him,
about his fitness.
Yeah, is he fit? Is he going to board the plane?
Well, yeah, there have been conflicting reports coming out that perhaps he re-aggravated a quad or a hip flexor, but he's been named in the squad, so we'll hear from the horse's mouth just after 8 o'clock. Looking forward to hearing from Orazio. Great to see Riley Thilthorpe back for the Crows. I think a lot of fans will be happy about that. Lockie Murphy's also in the side. Tough task tomorrow against Melbourne, but we'll talk more with Orazio Fantasia just after 8 o'clock this morning.
It is going to be a tough task for the Crows because, and I spoke to, sadly it was in an ad break, but I was talking yesterday to the dude and I said, gosh, I love watching Melbourne play because they're synergy, they just know each other before somebody even does something. You know what your teammate's going to do, and as we know, Adelaide has been a bit like a revolving door, like IKEA, the door goes round and round. And that's hard to gel with your teammates because, you don't know them intimately yet. And he said, well, yeah, that's a huge problem that we've got at the moment, and until we find that right balance and lock down our team, it's going to continue that. But that's the I guess the lucky position that Melbourne are in, that they, sure, they're all talented, but they just know each other.
Yeah, they're playing so well, aren't they? And Stephen May, I know he's had his issues off field and it's caused some major stories, but him back in that side last week straightened them up so nicely. And even without Max Gawn, they still look so potent and so dangerous. So let's hope history can repeat tomorrow and the Crows can do what they did last year, but I think it's going to be a very, very tough game.
Beautiful. Well, Tommy, we will continue to read some fun Automasters texts coming up. Loving all your messages coming through. So please, flick us a message, 0448 08 1395. You're listening to Adelaide's 5AA with Jade Robin and Tom Wren.
Hey, it's Callum here. Looking for something small, medium or large? Edwardstown Mazda have most models in stock, ready to drive away. You can feel confident in the team at Edwardstown Mazda.
It's gotta be
edwardstownmazda.com.au, LNVD 207428.
Hey, it's Cam and Ali with an important message about bowel cancer. So listen up.
Bowel cancer takes more lives than breast, prostate or skin cancer. But 90% of bowel cancers can be treated successfully if caught early.
That's why everyone aged 50 to 74 has a free test kit delivered every 2 years. If you have a kit, get to it. We've done it. It only takes a few minutes.
And those few minutes could save your life. Need more info? Head to bowelcancer.org.au.
Hi, Alan Lark from Maddox Air. Here's a split system deal you don't want to miss. The all-new Bonaire Optima L Series with a full 7-year warranty is here. That's right, a full 7-year parts and labour warranty plus Wi-Fi control. Get one installed to a bedroom from just $11.99, a lounge room from $13.99 and a large living area from an unbelievable $17.99. For a free quote, call 1300 Mannix or go online anytime.
If you could punch cancer in the face, would you? What about heart disease, kidney disease, stroke or diabetes? Would you fight them too? Well, we are, and we need your help. When you support the Hospital Research Foundation, you join the fight to find cures and improve care in more than 50 areas of medical research, and you make an impact. The Hospital Research Foundation Group. Together, fight.
Shop now at Harvey Norman Clearance Centre Marion. Under one big roof, we have lounges, dining, outdoor, rugs, flooring, cooking, washers, fridges, televisions and much more. Run-out models, scratch and dent, refurbished stock and brand new lines in stock and ready to go. Harvey Norman Clearance Centre at Marion for furniture, bedding, flooring, rugs and electrical. Look for the red sign. Shop now at Harvey Norman Clearance Centre, 919 Marion Road, Marion.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head online to 5AA Facebook or search 5AA on YouTube.
This
is Adelaide's 5AA.
Partly cloudy, 15 today. With the 6:30 news, I'm Mel Usher.
Looking for the perfect winter exercise? Physio Extra offers clinical Pilates at 6 locations. PhysioExtra.com.
It's the start of July, which means a new financial year. A 5.2% boost to the minimum wage will see Australia's lowest paid workers earn an extra $40 per week. Eligibility criteria and the rate of superannuation contributions has also changed. Small Business and Family Enterprise Ombudsman Bruce Bilson is urging companies to make sure they're across the changes.
Accounting software packages and employment service software arrangements, they should check with those providers of those services to make sure they've been updated. There's also material available through the Fair Work Commission website and resources through the Tax Office.
And the Tax Office is reminding us we can claim work-related COVID expenses when filing our returns, but ATO Assistant Commissioner Tim Lowe says there are certain conditions you have to meet.
You must have spent the money yourself and not be reimbursed by your employer. It must be work-related. You can't claim a deduction for a rapid antigen test if you're working out whether you can go on a holiday with your mates. And finally, you need a good record for it.
There's been an early morning car fire at Brooklyn Park. Just after 12:30, police were called to Marion Road, where a Nissan station wagon was burning in a carport at a block of units. The vehicle was stolen from Henley Beach 5 weeks ago. Investigations are continuing. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese is hoping to repair Australia's relationship with France as he prepares for talks with Emmanuel Macron. Brett McLeod is in Paris.
Fresh from the NATO summit in Madrid, Mr Albanese is now trying to hit the reset button with the French government. He was a guest of the OECD, sitting alongside former Finance Minister Matthias Cormann, who now heads the organisation, spruiking Australia's credentials in climate change and investment for business. His next stop is the Elysee Palace, where he'll be holding the first formal face-to-face engagement since the submarine deal was sunk last year. He wouldn't say whether he'll be offering an apology to Mr Macron, saying it's time to look forward.
Aldi has recalled a popular salad over concerns undeclared cashews could cause an allergic reaction. The fresh salad company Thai Coconut Wild Rice Salad was on shelves across the country, including SA. Australia is rolling out a world-first self-testing kits for cervical cancer screening. Brady Evans has the story.
Women aged 25 to 74 can collect their own sample to test for HPV rather than undergo an examination. Cancer prevention experts say the speculum exam performed by a doctor or nurse has been a barrier to the life-saving test, particularly for women with a history of sexual trauma or those with cultural or religious sensitivities. About 900 Australian women were diagnosed with cervical cancer last year and 237 died from the disease.
The Powerball went off last night. A man from Canberra pocketing the entire $60 million prize. He says a long overdue family holiday is now on the agenda. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
10-year warranty and 10-year capped price servicing at Agostino Mitsubishi, Nailsworth and Elizabeth.
Here's Jace Kemp.
Thank you, Mel. Let's start with tennis. And Nick Kyrgios has blasted his way into the third round of Wimbledon. The Aussie upset 26-seed Filip Krajinovic in straight sets.
I was very just locked in from the get-go today. And I just wanted to, just prove to people that, I'm really good. And I feel like I just don't have the respect sometimes.
He faces Stefanos Tsitsipas next, who defeated Jordan Thompson. Ala Tomljanovic also won in straight sets, while Alex de Minaur defeated Jack Draper in 4. To footy, and Port Adelaide has named 5 players in its extended squad against Fremantle, while the Crows made 3 changes. Riley Thilthorpe returns to the side after overcoming an ankle injury. Meanwhile, Brisbane defeated the Western Bulldogs by 41 points last night. To cricket, and Australia is 8 for 313 heading into day 3 against Sri Lanka. Cam Green top scored with 77, while Alex Carey fell just short of a half century. The keeper was caught on 47.
Oh, he tries to go over mid-off. Carey pulls out. The first time he tried to go down the ground, he gets himself out.
That audio thanks to Fox. And finally, the Tour de France gets underway tonight. 9 Aussies are competing in the gruelling race, which starts with a time trial in Denmark. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now the 5AA forecast.
Hitachi Air Conditioners. Be comfortable all year round. Visit hitachieaircon.com.au now.
15 partly cloudy today, cloudy tomorrow 14, Sunday partly cloudy 14. Right now it's 11 degrees. More news as it happens on 5AA.
You, my brown girl.
You're listening to 5AA Breakfast. Jade Robran and Tom Wren.
We used to sing
Good morning, it is 6:35. You're talking with Tom Wren and Jade Robran on this Friday morning. Tommy, that's my karaoke song.
Is that yours? You'd like that one, do you?
Love that
I love
song.
it, yeah. It's a good song, isn't it? Gets you going in the morning and at night.
Anytime.
Anytime.
Breakfast, lunch and dinner. And also what's going to get us going, winter is no longer drab but fab in our city because Illuminate Festival, it kicks off tonight. Organisers have promised it's going to be bigger and better than last year, which is excellent news. Lee Cumberledge is the co-director of Illuminate Festival and he joins us now. Good morning, Lee.
Good morning, Jade. Hi, Tom.
This is sounding good. I like the sound of bigger and better. What can we expect?
Well, we're taking over the city, really, with 150 different installations, performances, interactive experiences throughout the entire month of July this year. And we kick off tonight, actually, with a new zone that we've created in Victoria Square called Base Camp, which is going to get up and running, and it's going to be perfect for the school holidays. It's got ice skating under lights. It's got electric playground, which is a couple of really amazing immersive experiences from some South Australian-based creative studios that we've commissioned. And, of course, all of the great food and bev as well that you'd expect from Gluttony, who we're partnering with on this new precinct.
Lee, it sounds so exciting, and just going through some of the shows as well, I think the beauty is that it, really appeals to people of all ages.
Yeah, that's right. That's the way we've designed it. It's about getting out in wintertime, embracing the cold, seeing the city completely transformed by some of the things we're presenting. And, it's great for the kids, but you can also bring along the grandparents. So it's really great for people of all ages and all backgrounds.
For those who didn't go last year, how would you describe it?
Well, it's a real mix of art, light, music and technology. We're really focused on some of the great work that's happening around the world and also in South Australia in terms of innovative, creative experiences. We've got a massive free program, of course, from the 15th to the 31st of July, which is all about interactive installations and interesting lighting and sound works all over the city. But we've also got massive exhibitions like light cycles, which people might remember in the Adelaide Botanic Garden last year, which is a kind of, a lighting and projection and sound installation from Moment Factory from Canada. And this year we've even got an AI-driven multi-sensory experience and a huge projection pavilion that we're building on Rundle Road right now, which will that'll open on the 13th of July, and that's really not to be missed.
And Lee, it might be a bit like trying to name your favourite child, but you spoke about 150 odd shows, I think, over the course of the month. Have you got a particular one or perhaps two or three that you're really looking forward or think that people might look forward to seeing?
Yeah, there's a few things in our music program that I can't wait for. Of course, we've got the Gorillas coming to do a big show at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre on the 28th. We've also got a music festival at the Don Polsky Centre called Unsound, which is all about new and innovative music. So really looking forward to that one as well on the 22nd and 23rd of July.
And you're going to the regional areas as well, aren't you?
Yeah, that's right. We're about to finish up in Renmark. We've had an installation there for the last month, which closes on the weekend with a big projection work in the river by Craig Walsh. But we're also going to Mount Gambier, which we did last year as well, to do a digital garden exhibit, which is a few free installations in the cave garden there, and also Victor Harbour, where we're presenting Harbour Lights, a similar kind of pop-up program of installations all around the Wallen Reserve and the waterfront there at Victor.
And Lee, I'm sure a lot of people listening out there this morning wondering how they can perhaps get online or get tickets to this. What's the best method to do that?
Best way is through our website. The whole program is available there. All the information, all the tickets are available through the website. So that's the best place to go.
And that website is, Lee?
illuminateadelaide.com.
Beautiful.
Fantastic.
Lee Cumberledge, thank you so much and good luck for the next couple of weeks. It was such a beautiful event last year.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah.
We went a couple of times. I missed the zoo, so I want to go and check out the zoo exhibition this year. But my kids were absolutely mesmerised with the lights and the action, and it was just gorgeous. It was a really lovely family event.
And that's the thing. I think it's great, for the family. And like you said, you can take the kids, but the grandparents can go along as well. And I think everyone can get something out of it. It's nice and peaceful and tranquil, but you get a real sensation out of it too, and there's so much on offer as well.
I'm going to stick the kids on the ice rink while I go and drink mulled wine. I love the sound of base can. That sounds excellent. We've got a couple more texts coming through on the Automasters text line 044808 1395. We've got, good morning guys, about 30 years ago I got 5 straight numbers on Lotto and spent the weekend looking around for a new house. On the Monday I went to pick up my winnings thinking of new cars, new house. I got $1,500. I never played Cross Lotto since, Steve.
You know what, you're still a winner, Steve. At least you're probably in front.
I know, but he needed another zero. That's all he wanted. He's not asking for much.
Oh, poor Steve. Probably another couple of zeros would even, but that's not bad though. Is it 1,500? But I get it. You're so close,
but yet so
far away. And that's the thing. I think I told you yesterday when on our wedding night we had the first 5 numbers. Ended up with a sup as well. But if we had one more number, it's I think $1.5 million.
That's life changing.
It's life changing. Whereas I think we won 13 grand. That's great. It's amazing, but it's not quite that life changer.
That is so 13 grand. I would have been so excited. That would have been. I know you have to say that the birth of your child and your wedding day is the best days of your life, but winning 13 grand, I would have been like, sorry, Sarah.
That's pretty good.
This has topped it. Annette, she's won $10 last night. So
hey, well done, Annette.
Yeah. Do you treat yourself and go out for brekkie, or do you reinvest?
Got to reinvest.
Yeah.
But this is coming from a desperate. So, maybe gamble responsibly. Maybe put the $10
put it on a couple of horses, wouldn't you?
Yeah, put the $10 in the pocket, Annette. Do the right thing.
Let's check some traffic.
Good morning. A few burst water mains to look out for this morning. One at Dry Creek, Churchill Road North near Parkin Street, down to 25 k's. Another one at Clemzig. This one's on OG Road at 2nd Avenue. Slow going through there at the moment. And the Parklands, Rundle Road is closed between East Terrace and Decateville Terrace for the Illuminate Festival. Starting to get busy as you're driving on South Road through Karauta Park. And we've got cameras Harvey Avenue, Netley, and Maringi Avenue at North Plimpton. Amart's mid-year clear-out is on now. Save on a range of stylish pieces with up to 40% off lounges, 30% off dining and 50% off bedroom. Hurry, offers end July 5. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
How'd you go with the backyard, love?
Huh?
You were going to mow today?
Yeah, nah, need some petrol.
And trim the edges?
A trimmer needs fuel too.
And blow the leaves away?
Say.
Right. Wait, weren't you banging on about Stanford's range of battery-powered garden tools with the equivalent power of petrol now?
Yeah.
More energised than some.
Stanford Mowers, for battery-powered tools that'll blow you away. 590 Main North Road, Jeps Cross. stanfordmowers.com.au.
Hi, I'm David Hasselhoff.
Excuse me, David. I can take it from here.
Really? Okay.
Right now at ANZ, we're offering a massive 300,000 Qantas points with any eligible ANZ home loan. A home loan offer so good, you don't need a celebrity. Sorry, Hoff. Apply by 19 August. Search ANZ Home Loans. Settled by 31 January 2023. One offer per eligible loan and individual. Credited 60 days after valid claim received. Home loans 300k or more and LVR of 80% or less. T's and C's at anz.com/home loan offer.
As we keep hearing, Adelaide property values are at an all-time high. They've grown by more than 25% over the past 12 months with really strong buyer demand. And in most areas, demand is greater than supply. And vendors are regularly getting multiple offers for homes with sold prices well above expectations, Tom.
And Jade, we know our friends at Toop and Toop work across all suburbs, and we can tell you right now they are working with 4,928 buyers in Torrens Park, 5,221 in Prospect, and another 5,011 in Tusmore. They're all searching for their perfect property in these specific locations.
So if you're thinking of selling and would like to know how many buyers Toop and Toop are working with in your suburb, go to toop.com.au.
Ever wondered if retirement living would suit you? This winter, come along to our free FIVEAA open home events and get a sneak peek of the lifestyle you could enjoy. Explore our communities, inspect our display homes and chat with our friendly team. With 12 events across Adelaide from the 12th to the 16th of July, we look forward to welcoming you. Attendees must be vaccinated and all events will operate with a COVID-safe plan. Take the first step and search FIVEAA Open Home today. RSVP is essential.
You're the generation that stopped wars and started revolutions, so you're hardly going to start compromising now. Welcome to Bloom at Glenside. Exclusive community living, where sustainability and luxury go hand in hand. Access to a swimming pool, pavilion, gym and more. Surrounded by parklands and walking trails on the fringe of the city. Prestige Apartments for discerning boomers. Register now at bloomglenside.com.au.
9 News has the experience to break the news. Made in Adelaide for Adelaide. 9 News.
Then I saw her face.
You're listening to 5AA Breakfast. Jade Robran and Tom Wren.
Good morning, it's 6:45 and you're listening with Tom Wren and Jade Robran as Will and Dave are on holidays. If you're waking up, it is a little bit chilly out there, not quite as cold as it was on Monday, but winter is here. Jenny Horvat from the Bureau joins us. Good morning, Jenny.
Good morning, Jade. Good morning, Tom.
What's the temperature?
It is currently 10.7 degrees at our West Terrace Night Appear site, so as you mentioned, not as cold as we have seen earlier this week, but still a little bit fresh out there. We did see our minimum temperature actually last night at around 11 p.m. and it got down to 7.2, but those cooler mornings will be returning as we head into early next week. But today, look, we could see a little bit of shower activity around the hills and southern suburbs, but we're not expecting too much. Looking at how much we saw yesterday, really didn't see too much. We managed to pick up 0.2 of a millimetre here in the city, but really it was quite patchy, and 1 millimetre up at Mount Lofty and a few other 0.2s along the way. So for today, we've got that high pressure system sitting in the bight, and it's got us in a bit of a east-southeasterly airstream, so it's quite difficult to get some showers in the city in that airstream, but a little bit is possible throughout the hills and southern suburbs, but we are looking at totals generally less than a millimetre, so hopefully shouldn't dampen too many spirits. Today, we are aiming for a top temperature in Adelaide of 15 degrees, 14 degrees for Elizabeth, Glenelg and Noarlunga, and 12 degrees up at Mount Barker. So this high pressure system's pretty much going to stay in the bight over the weekend and into early next week. So very stable and just, that slight chance of shower activity around the hills and southern suburbs, but it shouldn't be too much in it as we head into the weekend and early next week. So we are looking at a top temperature of around 14 degrees for Saturday after a minimum temperature of 7, and very similar conditions on the Sunday there, aiming for 14 degrees after a minimum of 7 degrees, with still that light chance of shower activities around the hills and southern suburbs. Look like by Monday, though, we should have dried up, and we are aiming for a top temperature of 15 degrees, mostly sunny, that minimum coming down to around 6 degrees, so it is a little bit on the cool start for the commute into work. Around 6 or 7 for a minimum again on Tuesday, maximum of 16 degrees, and very similar as we head into Wednesday, and maybe we'll start to see some showers returning towards the end of the week. The temperatures for maximums holding around 15 degrees, so definitely on the cooler side.
Beautiful, Jenny. Thank you so much. Have a fantastic weekend. Beautiful footy weather on Saturday, 14 degrees. Nice. Let's go now to Senior Constable Kimberly Broad at SAPOL Media. Good morning.
Good morning.
2 men arrested for the theft of a cable wheel.
Yeah, it was about 2:20 this morning. We had a witness call up reporting someone rolling a large wheel of cable away from a new housing development on Nilpena Avenue at Morphettville. The patrols attended and saw the track marks through the wet grass left by the wheel, and also found that there was a generator that had its electrical cables cut. So officers followed the fresh tracks straight to the garage of a nearby home and located that stolen wheel of cabling. Now, upon searching the home, they've also found more cables which have been stripped to extract the metal from within. So we've arrested 2 men from Morphettville, aged 29 and 33. They've been charged with theft and refused bail to appear in court today, along with a 29-year-old woman from Morphettville. She's been reported for the theft and will be appearing in court at a later date.
And Kimberly, what can you tell us about a car fire that's happened at Brooklyn Park?
This was 12:30 this morning. We were called to Marion Road after a report of a vehicle on fire under the carport of a block of units. Now, MFS extinguished the blaze, but it did extensively damage that Nissan station wagon. Luckily, the fire didn't spread to any other structures, but the checks on the vehicle revealed it had been stolen from Henley Beach on the 25th of May. So we're just asking if anybody saw the stolen car being left at that address at Marion Road at Brooklyn Park, or if they saw anything else which may assist our investigation, if they could call us on Crime Stoppers 1800 333 000.
Thank you so much, Senior Constable Kimberly Broad there from SAPOL. We've got a busy show coming up today, Tom. In a few moments, we're going to go and speak with cycling expert. You might actually know this cycler. He was a fantastic cyclist in his day. 10 Tour de France's. Of course, the Tour de France kicks off over in Europe tonight, which is always very exciting. I love seeing the riders go through all the beautiful areas in Europe. It's just gorgeous.
It's stunning scenery, isn't it? The sort of snaking views you get as they, go through the mountains, and it's just extraordinary. So
the crowd are nuts, though, aren't they?
They love
get
it.
way too close.
Well, it's caused some big issues in the past, but there is a real Australian flavour. We had Jai Hindley just win the Giro d'Italia. We also have Ben O'Connor, who finished 4th last year. So looking forward to previewing the Tour de France in about half an hour's time.
Now, if you've been to Villiers, the Cafe Beautiful, De Wills there on in Mile End, you would have seen this beautiful mural that's up on the wall there. And artist Anne Shannon joins us now. Good morning, Anne.
Good morning. How are you?
We're very well. Thanks for joining the program. This is really stunning. So stunning, it actually looks like a photograph. How did this opportunity come about?
Oh, thank you. Well, actually came about, I did a range of murals for a client, which took about 8 months. And it was through him that I met Nick Launchbury, and he works at Villiers, and he was instrumental in getting this going with the staff. So that's how it started.
And how long does a project like this take, Anne? I can't imagine it would be a quick thing.
No, it's not. So that took around 7 to 8 weeks to do in its entirety. I worked in separate panels, which then was erected on the wall, and then I got on the scissor and just finished off some things on the scissor. On location.
Unbelievable. I've always wondered how you take something, I understand you might do something on an A4 or A3 piece of paper or a portrait or a landscape, but then to magnify that to the extent that you have here, does it take a completely different set of skills, and how do you sort of start that?
Oh, well, actually, I always start with eyes because I find that I really get connected with, when I do portraiture, I really get connected with my piece much faster. And his eyes, honestly, were so smiley. All I did was find myself smiling back at them. So he has such an amazing energy. So I felt really connected straight away. So I started on the face and then worked out from there.
You've certainly captured that. You really have. The eyes are twinkling back at us now as we look at the photo. But for those that haven't seen it, where is it and what have you painted?
Yeah, so it's a portrait of him, and I absolutely love this composition because he's got a pie in one hand, which is upside down with a V for Villiers, and in the other hand he's got his fingers in the shape of a V. And that's really forward, and it's like, this is me, this is my product, and he's so proud of his product, and I think it's a great composition because it really displays that. And it's on location just next to Cafe de Villiers on the corner of South Road and Manchester.
Do the family love it?
Oh, yes, I was very fortunate enough to get to meet Alison and talk to her about it, and she came down to see it, and but also the staff, like they're like one huge family. Yeah.
Well, it's like he's still there. I mean, the face, the eyes, it's his beautiful smile. It's honestly like he's there looking down on them and watching them as they go to work every day.
Yeah, it was an amazing opportunity. I'm so honoured to have been given that chance.
Will it stay there?
Capture him. Yes, I believe so, yeah.
And what's on the horizon next for you? I imagine you've got another work in progress, or are you going to take a little break, or what happens for you now?
So I get commissions. I'm a commission-based artist, so I've also got some portraits in place. I do horse portraits or cars, people, murals. So, and that's really fantastic because I get a lot of variety, and I love the variety of that. So.
What other murals have you done? We'd love to direct people to go and see them.
Well, so prior to COVID, I was working around schools teaching children how to do the murals and working with the teachers and classrooms. So those are all on locations in schools, like at Hewitt Primary, but they're works with the children. And then some of the other murals you can see on my website, but they're a private premises where I've worked with a car collector or car enthusiast. I'm this amazing man cave. So such a variety of work, portraits and landscapes, etc.
That's so cool. And how long does something like this take to paint?
So that took me around 7 weeks.
It's an unbelievable effort, and you've got so much to be proud of with that. We look forward to watching a lot of your work moving forward as well. And no doubt, as you just said, that the family are so happy with it as well, and with good reason too. Thank you so much for your time this morning, and those that want to see it can drive past it and see it every day, and those that work at Cafe de Villiers will see it every day. Well done again on such a magnificent piece of artwork.
Well, thank you so much. It really means a lot.
No, it's great to talk to you. Thank you, Anne and Shannon there, an artist. And, looking at it here, he was a big basher, so went on the Variety Club bash and was a huge supporter of variety, and everyone, just says he so generous, so kind, bigger than life, and I think that's really special. And Anne just touched on the eyes, and you look at that and you look like you're looking into his soul. She's really captured it.
Well, it's such a gift to be able to bring something like that and give it life, as you say, Jade, and it's a massive talent. Large-scale painting, something I could never do. I cannot draw. I cannot even fathom doing something like that. It is such a gift. We'd love to know what your talent is. We've just heard Anne's. That is a real talent. Give us a call, 8223 0000. We've got some double passes to give away to Illuminate. So give us a call or send us a text, 0448 08 1395. On the Auto Masters text line. You might be an artist a bit like Anne. You might be good at something else. We'd love to hear about it this morning. That talent, I'm so envious. It's just a magnificent gift to be able to have.
I can't either. And, remember when you'd have a class and they'd plonk a bit of clay in front of you and, you'd have, people in your class and that beautiful pottery of a bowl or a jug or something like that. Mine just looked like a clump of something that comes out of the behind of a cow. It was it never, ever turned into anything pretty at all.
I couldn't do it. And whenever I play, I get nauseous when I start playing Pictionary. I just cannot do it. Love the game, but just can't partake in it. I'm happy to watch because when I'm the one that has to draw something, it just does not happen.
I need to ask you a question. I need your advice. So this week my son was in a school play, right? Mm-hmm. And doing the breakfast shift means that I've got some, hours in the afternoon. So, you beauty, I can go and see my son's play. So I went and saw it and I was sitting there and it was Shakespeare, right? And it was all interpretive dance, and the kids are doing a fantastic job, and it was all really beautiful, but it was really dragging on, and I was starting to get really tired, and I ended up walking out. And my son got home, and he said to me, "Mum, so what did you think? I saw you. What did you think?" I said, "Oh, darling, it was amazing. Just show me again what you had to do." And so he did this little bit that was literally 10 seconds long. So, Harry, that was amazing. That was so good. And he goes, "Nah, you're lying to me." This is my 8-year-old. He goes, "Nah, you're lying to me." And I said, No, it was really good. "Nah, Mum, I can see the twinkle in your eye. You're lying to me." And I said, "Okay, I'm lying to you." And he goes, "Oh, thank God. That was the worst play I have ever been a part of. I hated being a part of
So sometimes honesty is the best policy, isn't it? The kids know. The kids know. They can tell when you're faking it. They're pretty good. They're pretty cluey kids.
Oh, they are so cluey. And I thought, no, because I always say to him, "I can tell you're lying, Harry. I can see the twinkle in your eye." So he reverse parented me. I thought, no, you're smart,
Clever
kid.
boy.
We're going to take a short break. You're listening to Adelaide's 5AA with Tommy Wren and Jade Robran.
G'day, it's Jared for Southern Mitsubishi. Thinking Mitsubishi or servicing your existing car? Southern Mitsubishi is your absolute go-to. Their state-of-the-art servicing technology and world-class quality control systems will ensure your vehicle gives you many years of hassle-free motoring pleasure. The same goes for buying a new Mitsubishi. They stock the full range, all designed to thrill. So get in touch with the amazing team at Southern Mitsubishi, 147 Main South Road, Morfett Vale, driven by Australian Motors, LVD 80.
Hello. Frank Walker from National Tiles. For professional tilers, National Tiles stocks the world's best brands of adhesives, grouts, silicons, tools, levelling and pedestal systems. Yes, the world's leading brands including Marpay, MaxiSeal, Sigma, Raimondi, Clippert and more. So if you're a professional tiler who demands the very best in adhesives, tools and other accessories, you absolutely must check out the amazing range at National Tiles now. National Tiles. Number one with all the very best professional tilers.
Question: did you receive a bowel screening test kit in the mail? See, if you thought, nah, this won't happen to me, then please, think again. Do the test, then head to the Smooth Win page and tell us in 25 words or less how you maintain and enjoy a healthy lifestyle. You could go into the draw to win a prize pack valued at up to $150. Remember, bowel cancer takes more lives than breast, prostate or skin cancer, but 90% of bowel cancers can be treated successfully if found early. Get to it today.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head online to 5AA Facebook or search 5AA on YouTube. Online, on DAB Digital Radio and on 1395 AM. Talking Adelaide. This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Partly cloudy, 15 today with the 7 o'clock news. I'm Mel Usher.
Physio Extra hands-on physio at 6 locations. Even more convenient now with online bookings at physioextra.com.
Lots of changes to employee entitlements will kick in today as the new financial year gets underway. Lucy Gray has more.
Almost 3 million of Australia's lowest paid workers will receive a raise from today. The minimum wage is increasing by up to 5.2%, adding another $40 to weekly pay packets. The biggest winners will be women and part-time staff in industries such as healthcare, accommodation and retail. An overhaul of the superannuation guarantee means employer contributions will increase from 10% to 10.5%.
The ATO is warning us not to rush into filing our tax return on the first day of the financial year. If it's lodged before your income statement is marked as tax ready, it could lead to a delay in receiving your return. ATO Assistant Commissioner Tim Lowe says there's no benefit to being the fastest to file.
If you lodge on the 1st of July, but you're punting on your tax return by risking delays to any refund you're owed, if you forget to include everything, you may end up answering questions from the tax office.
The Prime Minister is confident France and Australia can work together moving forward. Anthony Albanese is in Paris after wrapping up the NATO summit in Spain. He'll meet with French President Emmanuel Macron, seeking to repair relations following the dumped submarine deal. A car fire at Brooklyn Park is being treated as arson. Senior Constable Kimberly Broad says the alarm was raised around 12:30 this morning.
We were called to Marion Road after a report of a vehicle on fire under the carport of a block of units. Now, MFS extinguished the blaze, but it did extensively damage that Nissan station wagon.
Luckily, the fire didn't spread. Checks revealed the vehicle had been stolen from Henley Beach back in May. A series of rallies to protest the Roe v. Wade decision in the US are being held across the country. The Adelaide Abortion Action Rally is being staged in the city tonight. It will start at Beehive Corner at 5 and make its way to Parliament House. Traffic disruptions are being flagged on King William Street and North Terrace. In breaking news, the Curley family has accepted the offer of a state funeral. Premier Peter Malinauskas tweeting moments ago that it will be an opportunity to celebrate his life and reflect on his legacy and contribution to our state. More details will be released in the coming days. An Aussie tourist has been killed after falling 6 floors from a hotel roof in Thailand. The 19-year-old from Canberra was seen walking along a swimming pool wall at a resort in Phuket. CCTV footage shows the backpacker slipping as he reaches the end of the wall, plunging around 15 metres to his death. Illuminate Adelaide starts tonight. The light display features 150 installations and performances. More than 500,000 people are expected to venture into the city during the month-long event. Director Lee Cumberledge says it's a winter festival.
That's the way we've designed it. You know, it's about getting out in winter time, embracing the cold, seeing the city completely transformed by some of the things we're presenting. And, you know, it's great for the kids, but you can also bring along the grandparents. So it's really great for people of all ages and all backgrounds.
Now turning to 5AA Sport.
New Mitsubishi Triton with 10-year warranty, 10-year capped price servicing at Agostino Mitsubishi, Nailsworth and Elizabeth.
And it's over to Jace Kemp.
Thank you, Mel. Let's start with tennis. And Alex de Minaur has just won his second round match at Wimbledon. The Aussie defeated Jack Draper in 4 after losing the first set.
I think my attitude, it didn't look too good at times there, but I stayed tough, I stayed positive.
Fellow Aussies Nick Kyrgios and Ayla Tomljanovic also through to the next round. To cricket, and Australia is back on top against Sri Lanka in the first test. The Aussies lead by 101 runs ahead of day 3. Cam Green top scored with 77. He partnered with Usman Khawaja for a half century, who praised Green's innings with the bat.
He batted beautifully. Took a lot of courage the way he batted and came out and played the sweep shot straight away. It's pretty tough. One of the toughest wickets I've played on. So the way he came out and batted was credit to Greenie. I just kept trying to help him throughout his innings, just trying to give him the right sort of messaging to keep him going to what I thought was the right play on the wicket.
To footy, and Port Adelaide has named 5 players in its extended squad against Fremantle, while the Crows have made 3 changes against Melbourne. Last night, Brisbane beat the Western Bulldogs by 41 points. Bulldogs coach Luke Beveridge says they didn't make enough or make the most of their opportunities.
I felt like Brisbane's pressure and contest improved even to another level in the second half. We couldn't get any fluency.
And finally, in the basketball, the Boomers have beaten China in a World Cup qualifier. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now the 5AA traffic.
FIVEAA's water mains to look out for this morning. One at Dry Creek, Churchill Road North near Parkin Street, down to 25 k's at the moment. Another one at Clemzig. This is on OG Road at 2nd Avenue, also slow going there too. In the Parklands, Rundle Road is closed between East Terrace and Kettleville Terrace. That's for the Illuminate Festival. And pretty busy at the moment, Cavan Road at Dry Creek. We've got cameras Harvey Avenue, Netley, and Stonehouse Avenue at Camden Park. IGA's Price Match promise. Every week they check and match the lowest regular prices on hundreds of products at the 2 big chains. You don't have to do a thing. Participating stores only. See website for full terms. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA forecast.
Hitachi Air Conditioners. Be comfortable all year round. Visit hitachieaircon.com.au now.
Partly cloudy 15 today, cloudy tomorrow 14 and Sunday 14 again, partly cloudy. Right now it's 11 degrees. More news as it happens on 5AA.
You're listening to 5AA Breakfast. Jade Robran and Tom Wren.
Welcome back. It is 7 minutes past 7 o'clock. You're talking with Jade Robran and Tommy Wren on Breakfast 5AA while Will and Dave are on holidays. Joining us now is the Premier of South Australia, Peter Malinauskas. Premier, good morning. You've got some news you'd like to share regarding Neil Curley.
Yeah, I'm very pleased to report this morning that last night I spoke to Barb Curley and she accepted my offer of a state funeral for the late, great Neil Curley, which I think is very generous of her. She was, needless to say, very grateful for the offer, but more importantly, humbled at the fact that the state would want to acknowledge him in this way. But I think for everybody else, we know this is utterly appropriate given Neil Curley's contribution to the people of South Australia.
And when are you, Premier, likely, do you think, to hold the state funeral, or are those details set to be finalised in the coming days?
Yeah, Rennie, good question. Those details will be finalised in the coming days. I'm very keen to make sure that the state funeral is done in a way that is consistent with all of the family's requests. I mean, they know Neil best and how to honour him best, and this will be a state funeral that is arranged very much in conjunction with the family's wishes. So that'll be worked out over coming days, and there'll be an announcement in due course.
Wonderful. Premier, thank you so much for taking the time to share that wonderful news that we can all celebrate of what has been an incredible life. Thank you.
No worries. Cheers, guys.
Premier of South Australia, Peter Malinauskas, they're well deserved, and I think that's lovely that the family have opted to accept that because, they have every right to keep it personal and private amongst just their loved ones, but he was loved and just adored by so many and touched the hearts of so many people around the country. I was watching the footy last night and they were talking about him and, and sharing stories, and it's a really nice tribute to Neil Knuckles Curley.
Absolutely, and even today, Jade, it was on the front page and back page on yesterday's paper, but again today, and the outpouring of grief and also the tributes have been flowing in, and there are some great photos that are shared in today's advertisers. So there's plenty more, still happening, and a lot of people still talking about it. So that news just coming through. Peter Malinauskas, the Premier, confirming that there will be a state funeral for Neil Curley. The family has accepted that, and now we just wait for a time and a place.
Thanks, Tom. And in some other news, South Australia, we've recorded its first case of monkeypox after a return traveller brought it back from overseas. There's no risk to South Aussies because the traveller saw the health advice and had it treated without coming into contact with anyone. Here's Chief Public Health Officer Professor Nicola Spurrier talking yesterday.
We have got our first case of monkeypox in South Australia, and I know that people are aware that there are cases of monkeypox in Europe and in the UK, and that we have already had 11 cases reported in Australia, but this is the first time we've had a case in South Australia. And so this is a person, it's a male who has been overseas and he's returned back to Australia. He's in a stable condition and isolating at home, but had obviously seen the information provided for people travelling internationally and had sought advice from his GP and has been diagnosed here. So in terms of close contacts, I'm really pleased to report that there are no close contacts in South Australia. So there's no risk from this individual for any further spread. There are close contacts in terms of international travel, but our communicable disease branch will be following that up. But from a South Australian perspective, this is somebody that has obviously picked up the infection overseas, has seen the travel advice, got diagnosed and is stable, and there's no further risk to us in our state.
Nicola Spurrier there. Gosh, it's an ugly-looking disease, isn't it? It's really awful. Also, Albo, an awkward encounter for him. Anthony Albanese, I'm talking about, as he arrived in Paris with his world leader counterparts. Here is his meeting with Canadian President Justin Trudeau, who appeared to have forgotten Albo's name.
It's a real pleasure to be meeting with a great progressive leader. We're really excited to have a friend in Australia. Australia's been a long-time friend, but with Prime Minister Albanese, we have someone now who we're going to be able to dig into on climate change, on inclusive economic growth, on reconciliation, on the range of issues.
Oh, we got there in the end.
We've all been there, haven't we? But never,
old mate.
Never quite as public. I've been very lucky to call the odd game with a footy, Billy Brownless, and he has people coming up to him all the time, and obviously, he doesn't know who they are, and he just calls everyone Coco. So that's his Coco. Just
Coco?
Hello, Coco, and then, hey, Billy, you remember me? Yeah, Coco, I remember,
Oh,
so
wow, that's random.
That's just, some people, g'day, big fella, like they just come up with the... When you're supposed to recognise someone.
Hi, Dales. Hi, mate. He got there in the end. But poor old Al. Our world leaders are just forgotten on the world stage, aren't they? Because that happened last year with ScoMo.
That's awkward.
Old mate, I think he was called by the US President Joe Biden, was just trying to... You could see his mind ticking over and over. It just wasn't coming.
You could hear it then, couldn't you? You could just hear that he was madly scrambling, going,
I wonder if someone quickly scribbled it up on a piece of paper like Sam does with us and shakes it in front of our face. Quick, get to this question. Quick, this is the person's name. Hey, it's birthday time. An Aussie icon, Johnny Farnham. It's his birthday today. Tom, have you got any idea how old he could be?
Whispering Jack. What is he? I would say 71.
Close. 73.
Oh, wow, that's not too bad.
Karaoke song.
Fantastic. That's a very popular wedding song at the end of the night. Everyone gets in a big,
Don't they just?
Big group and, big love in and, solve the world's problems.
Are you a fan of Farnsey?
Love him. Yeah, love John Farnham. He's one of the best.
He is one of the best, isn't he? He was the first cassette I ever bought. And I remember sitting there with my little hot pink cassette player and I wrote down every single word to, the lyrics to every single song so that I could then sing it in the shower and get my hairbrush and put on a little concert in my room. I was obsessed with him.
Yeah.
The Two Strong Hearts, that
Two
was
Strong
my
Hearts,
favourite.
Under Pressure was a great song.
I know, so many.
So many. Him and Jimmy Barnes. You can't go wrong. They're just both fantastic.
But we were having a bit of a laugh about poor old Anthony Albanese. He was forgotten by the Canadian President Justin Trudeau, and it got us thinking, when have you ever forgotten someone's name? You've got it really drastically wrong. It may be, it was at a wedding or you're up on stage having to introduce someone or you're at work or... When have you forgotten someone's name? You've got it really drastically wrong. We've got a couple of tickets to give away to Illuminate, which starts tonight. 8223 or you can send us a message on the Automasters text line, which is 0448 08 1395.
It's a terrible feeling, isn't it, when you know you should, you see someone's face and you know the face but you can't put a name to it, and you know you should remember. My excuse is waking up early mornings, I'm like my brain's scrambled egg. That's my excuse anyway, but it's a terrible
I'm a
feeling.
shocker. See, I'll remember faces, but names,
Yeah.
not good at all. My husband just says you need to, when you meet someone, you shake their hand, you say their name, and then within the first 30 seconds of talking, say their name 2 or 3 times, and it'll sink in.
Well, there are tricks to train your brain to really get that process going.
I
think
need that
there are,
trick.
Yeah, there are I think exercises you can do. You associate their name with something so that you remember next time. But,
okay.
Yeah.
Morning, guys.
Good morning. Hello, Lucy.
Hello. I have a prime example of this, and it's one that I just grimace every time I think about it. So back when Facebook started, I was pretty new to it, and you add all your friends and you search someone's name, you just hit add friend. Anyway, I searched for a girl's name called Sophie, and I knew who she was. We'd grown up together. She went to a different primary school, and I sent her a message, and quite clearly says, to Sophie, and I wrote, "Hi, Sarah, how have you been?
Gosh.
I haven't seen you for a while." And then I sent the message, so I'd sent it, and then she saw it, and then I realised, and I was like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Obviously, I meant Sophie."
See, you know where you can blame that. Oh, sorry,
dear.
autocorrect.
I know, but this was 10 years ago, so it was probably pre-autocorrect fails,
no.
and it's honestly, I've never lived it down.
Did she forgive you?
Yeah, I think so, and I don't think I've seen her in person. I hadn't seen her for a long time before that. We went to different schools, and I don't think I've seen her since then, to be honest, which is about 12 years ago, thankfully, because, yeah.
This is a very good public apology.
Yes, I'm sorry, Sophie/Sarah. Even if you remember, I'm very sorry.
What? It's a good nickname. I was hosting something for Tennis SA, and it was with Shane, and I called him Simon, and this was in front of 300 people, my co-host, about 4 times.
And did he run with it?
No, he's nicknamed now Simon. Everyone goes.
He's got you to thank for it,
Yeah,
then.
exactly.
Hey, it's probably a better name than that one that he was given at birth anyway.
Poor
Hi,
guy.
Brett.
Good morning, Jade.
Good morning. You're calling it about Farnsey.
Yeah, I'm ringing about Johnny Farman. I'm not sure if you might be a bit too young, but the TV show he was in, Bobby Dazzler. Yeah, it used to be on, I think it was 9. Murray Fields and Johnny Farman and all that. And yeah, it was a really good show. And I'm not sure if anyone remembers it much.
Call in and let us know if you remember Farnsey's TV show. I must admit, I actually haven't watched it. I need to be honest. I've heard about it, but I haven't watched it. So if you know what Brett's calling in about, let us know. 8223 0000. But call us. When have you ever got someone's name drastically wrong? 8223 0000.
Good morning. Few burst water mains to look out for today. One at Dry Creek, Churchill Road North near Parkin Street. Down to 25 k's there. At Clemzig, another burst water main, OG Road at 2nd Avenue, slow going through there as well. In the Parklands, Rundle Road is currently closed. That's between East Terrace and Ketterville Terrace for the Illuminate Festival. Cameras, Anderson Walk, Smithfield and Heaslip Road at Penfield Gardens. The best sale now on at Best and Less. Only $2 for Oz Cotton long sleeve tees plus toddler jackets, now $15. Over 2 million units on sale in-store and online. Only at Best and Less. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Leon Biner.
One Adelaide council has been accused of treating a dog who had sadly been hit and killed by a car as just another part of the rubbish stream for landfill. The council has erred badly in the way that they've treated this matter, because animals in most cases are treated by their owners as part of the family.
9 till 12 weekdays.
It is not unreasonable for people to expect that the local council would treat such matters with compassion.
SSA as Leon Biner. SSA as AA.
1 in 4 Australian women experience domestic violence in their lifetime. Staying is dangerous, but leaving can mean homelessness for them and their children. With your generosity, the Salvos can provide crisis services and ongoing support, helping women find a way out of violence and a way back into a safe and stable life. Please donate to the Red Shield Appeal at salvationarmy.org.au to help the Salvos leave no one in need.
Soak up the winter rain and huge savings at Vidoulis Garden Centre's massive end of financial year sale. Get 20% off everything in store. That's 20% off outdoor furniture and barbecues, 20% off all plants, 20% off pots and potting mix, 20% off giftware and homewares. Yes, that's 20% off everything. On now till Sunday, July 3rd, Vidoulis Garden Centre's end of financial year sale, Main North Road, Gawler, opposite the racecourse. Some conditions apply.
Connect with Beaumont Tiles and grow your business. Go to iCanWin.com.au. You could win a $25,000 advertising boost to take your business to the next level, supported by Beaumont Tiles. Builders, renovators, tilers, enter now. iCanWin.com.au.
Which oil keeps your business moving? Farmers and fleet managers, they know. Construction crews and car mechanics, they know. And you know. Valvoline, the original engine oil.
This weekend is a super weekend at your local Cheapers Chips. That means it's a super opportunity to live cheaper with their cheap prices.
And if you were thinking the kids could do with some winter clothes, take a look at their extensive range of Converse gear. You'll find t-shirts, jog pants and plenty more for 30% off.
And you're probably spending more time indoors with all this lovely winter weather. So freshen up your family room with a Henley & Grange Tina sofa. These smart-looking two-seater sofas come in grey and charcoal and are just $499 each.
And there's so much more in store, including 12 rail clothes eras for only $7.99 and a mini dumpster-style 92-litre storage bins. They're only $29.
For more super weekend deals, check the back page of this week's Cheapers Chips catalogue or head into your local Cheapers Chips.
Beach Hotel is your destination down south for your next night out. Try a signature cocktail in our cosy main bar or catch up with friends and family in our bistro with full table service. Got a wedding, engagement or big birthday bash coming up? We can take care of that too, with plenty of private function spaces. For more info and for upcoming events, check our socials page or call in. Beach Hotel, Commercial Road, Seaford. Remember, life's better at the beach.
9 News has the experience to break the news. Made in Adelaide for Adelaide. 9 News. You're listening to 5AA Breakfast. Jade Robran and Tom Wren.
There it is, my favourite John Farnham song. Sam, you're going to have to be careful with all these songs. I'm going to start singing for you. Welcome back to the show. It is 22 minutes past 7 o'clock. You're with Jade Robran and Tom Wren. This is my last day today because I'm heading off on holidays to join David and Will, and you'll be joined by another co-host next week.
Yes, Michael Smith will be in the chair from Monday, so looking forward to that. It will be Michael Smith and I taking you through until Friday, and then David and Will be back on Monday week.
And of course, Rowie is on holidays, but we've got Bix and Timmy G hosting the sports show at the moment. You can book your service online at North Point Toyota to win the cost back. It's North Point Way. Will be on again today at 4 o'clock. But Tom, it's a really exciting time to be a cycling fan in Australia. The Tour de France, it kicks off tonight in Denmark, and we've got a couple of Aussies that are pretty good chance at wearing the yellow jersey, I believe. A man who has ridden in the Tour de France about 10 times and is now an SBS cycling expert. He joins us now. Mark Henshaw, good morning.
Good morning, everybody. Pleasure to have on this morning.
Who are these Aussies and how do you rate their chances?
We've got a whole host of Australians riding the Tour de France this year, and it's super exciting because not only are they riding, they are very capable of winning stages and the overall. So some of those names, we've got Ben O'Connor, who rides for the 82R Citroën team, and he has a great chance of finishing on the podium. He was fourth last year in the Tour de France.
He was really confident as well leading into this year's race, isn't he, Mark? I think he's talking about the fact he wants to finish on the podium. Do you think it's a realistic projection for him?
Absolutely. He has come along leaps and bounds the last couple of years. He's an ex-teammate of mine. We've seen him so close to the podium. He's had some victories this year in big races, so he has had a relatively quiet build-up, which is what you want to do as a GC rider because you want to come in fresh, but you still want to be in top form. So I've got no doubt with the support of his whole team that he'll be very close to getting on the podium.
And Jai Hindley, I mean, he's already put us on the map, hasn't he, winning the Giro d'Italia, the first Aussie to win a grand title event. I mean, that was just superb. It was breathtaking to see that only a month or two ago.
Absolutely. First ever Australian to win the Tour of Italy. So basically, it's the exact same race as the Tour de France. It doesn't have the same following or around the world. It's not as big, as well known. But the parcours, the racing, the riders, exactly the same level as the Tour de France. And so see him back in the Tour only a month after that, that's a huge win, and Australia's just going to be riding high. Everybody in Australia knows Jai Hindley now, so it's great to see him get that coverage. But as far as Australians go, there's so many good up-and-coming.
Can I ask you about Jack Haig? His team and their homes were searched by the police just before they left for the Tour. What's going on there?
Look, cycling and the history and the past that they've had in doping, it's very hard to shake, and I think, they didn't find anything that was illegal, but I just want to think they just keep their teams on the toes. They make sure they monitor it. Look, it's not a very good build-up for Jack Haig. It's not what you want to be. You don't want to be in a team that's going to have police searching your hotel, especially in the evenings before the Tour de France. So, there's been nothing in the media what they've found or why it is happening. So it'd be interesting to see why, but look, it's not the perfect build-up for Jack Haig, who's another great contender to be on the podium.
We're talking to Mark Renshaw, Australian cycling expert who has ridden in the Tour de France. Mark, we've got the Tour Down Under here, which is clearly a big event for us, but, in the grand scheme of things, not anywhere close to something like the Tour de France. Just talk to us about the level of excitement and just how big it is over in Europe when this race takes place.
Look, they say it is a circus, and it is a travelling circus. Every day is a new location. It's not only the race that the people come to see, they've got a whole caravan of sponsorship that goes along with the Tour de France. So they're always throwing out, free little bits and pieces to the crowd. The atmosphere is more like a party as the race arrives. So they amp up the crowd as we get closer to the riders coming, and that's why you see these hectic scenes. As the riders are passing, it's just an absolute mayhem for spectators, and it's a free event. That's the big thing. Like Tour Down Under here in Australia, it's free. People can travel to it. They get to watch. They get to be close to the riders. There's no other sport where you can roll up next to a football player or a soccer player and touch them as they ride past.
Which is magnificent. And what I love as well, Mark, is that we've got the introduction of the women's race as part of the Tour de France to come this year too. So really groundbreaking.
Absolutely. So it's going to be the first women's Tour de France in a few years now. It's going to be a huge event. Everybody's so happy that finally the ASO, the organising company behind the tour, they've reintroduced the Tour de France Femmes. Great backing by a good sponsor, and they're going to have a great field of riders. So it's really exciting. It's good to see that on the final stage of the men's race in Paris, on the Champs-Élysées, which is the most iconic bit of roadway for cycling, that will see the women's first stage of the Tour de France Femmes ran just a couple of hours before the men arrived.
So exciting. Mark, thank you so much. That is Mark Renshaw, the Australian cycling expert and SBS commentator. And it kicks off tonight. You can catch it on SBS. Thank you so much, Mark. Book your service online at North Point Toyota to win the cost back. It's the North Point way, Sam.
Morning, guys. Just letting you know, if you do fill in the chairs in this show, we treat you like our regular hosts. So what makes it even funnier is that we were asking, when have you stuffed names up? Right?
Yeah.
And we just had cycling expert there from SBS on. His name was Mark Renshaw.
Yeah.
SBS cycling expert. He joins us now. Mark Henshaw.
Oh, no.
Thank you, Luce.
Do I have to do 10 push-ups?
No, I just wanted to call you out on that one. So welcome to the family.
Thanks.
So nice.
I've gone red.
Oh, don't worry about that.
How embarrassing. It's probably not the first name I've got wrong this week, actually.
I think it is. You've been bang on, Jade. You've done a great job.
Oh, that is so funny. I love to hate you now, Sam. Thank you so much. We're going to take a really short break. We'll be back soon.
You know us for our bright blue vans. Metropolitan Plumbing, Electrical and Air Conditioning. We are the proud winners of the Product Review Award for Plumbing in Australia for 2020 and 21. Did you know we offer $0 deposit interest-free payment plans, have no extra charge for after hours, and can also often be at your door within the hour? Metropolitan Plumbing, Electrical and Air Conditioning. Available 24/7.
Hi, I'm Peter Berkowitz from Berkowitz Furniture. Our winter stock take sale is on now, and you'll save up to 40%. Save on our comfortable leather and fabric sofas, sofa beds, recliners, dining tables, dining chairs, including our Australian-made collection. And you can customise to your heart's content. Be part of our massive winter stock take sale and save up to 40%. Hurry, sale ends soon. We're not just a furniture store, we're an Aussie furniture family. In-store at Mile End Homemaker Centre and online.
Hi, Bronte Manuel from Toop and Toop. If you see a late model Mercedes for sale in a small car yard, you'd be hoping you might be able to snare a bargain. If you see the same Mercedes for sale at a respected dealership specialising in luxury European vehicles, you're likely to value that car more highly. The same goes for real estate. Market perception is everything. Sure, most agencies will be able to sell your home in this market, but only a premium agency can deliver a premium result. Visit toop.com.au to find out more.
Guys, how long does silence have to last before it's awkward? This long? How about this? Ask a female colleague, because for Australian women, harassment and casual misogyny in the workplace is still being met with silence, leaving them feeling uncomfortable and unsupported. Find your voice by searching bethechange.com.au.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head online to 5AA Facebook or search 5AA on YouTube. This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Partly cloudy and 15 today with the 7:30 news. I'm Mel Usher.
Looking for the perfect winter exercise? Physio Extra offers clinical Pilates at 6 locations. physioextra.com.
Neil Curley will be given a state funeral. Premier Peter Malinauskas has told 5AA he spoke to his family last night and made the offer.
She was, needless to say, very grateful for the offer, but more importantly, humbled at the fact that the state would want to acknowledge him in this way. But I think for everybody else, we know this is utterly appropriate given Neil Curley's contribution to the people of South Australia.
More details will be released in the coming days. Neil Curley passed away on Wednesday following a car accident. He was 88. From today, almost 3 million award workers will get a pay bump as the Fair Work Commission's annual wage review takes effect. All eligible employees are also now entitled to superannuation contributions, no matter their income. Treasurer Jim Chalmers says the changes are crucial.
If you look right across the economy, there are issues around energy, input costs, there are issues around groceries and the like, which are making life harder, and this important but modest increase won't make that problem worse.
SA seniors will be able to travel for free at any time on public transport from today. Card holders are simply required to validate their seniors card upon boarding a service. The return of the Adelaide 500 means the Victoria Park COVID testing site is on the move. It will close at 9 this morning. The new site is at Edwards Park on Anzac Highway, but won't be 24 hours. It will be open 9 a.m. to 10:30 p.m. 7 days a week. The Manopara vaccination site is also closing today. The US Supreme Court has issued a ruling limiting the government's ability to regulate emissions from power plants. 19 mostly Republican states were worried the EPA would force them to move away from coal for power generation. Secretary-General of the UN, Antonio Guterres, says the ruling makes it more difficult to reach the goals of the Paris Climate Accord. His spokesman, Stefan Dujarric, concedes it's a setback.
Decisions like today's in the US or any other major emitting economy makes it harder to meet the goals of the Paris Agreement for a healthy, livable planet, especially as we need to accelerate the phase-out of coal and transition to renewable energies.
The Prime Minister is confident France and Australia can work productively well into the future. Anthony Albanese is in Paris after wrapping up the NATO summit in Spain. He'll meet with French President Emmanuel Macron as he continues to patch up relations following the controversial submarine deal. Mr Albanese says it's time for a fresh start.
On the 1st of July is an appropriate time with the new year to enter a new dawn and a new arrangement between Australia and France.
And reports out of the UK suggest monkeypox is mutating up to 12 times faster than expected. A case was reported in South Australia yesterday. We're the fourth state to record a case of the virus. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
10-year warranty and 10-year capped price servicing at Agostino Mitsubishi, Nailsworth and Elizabeth.
Here's Jace Kemp.
Thank you, Mel. Nick Kyrgios, Sailor Tomljanovic and Alex de Minaur have all booked a spot in the third round at Wimbledon. Tomljanovic got through in straight sets, but says it was a difficult match to prepare for.
I didn't know what to really expect from her, but I knew that, she had 4 great wins to get to this stage.
To cricket, and Usman Khawaja and Cam Green have batted Australia into a strong position against Sri Lanka. The Aussies lead by 101 runs heading into day 3. Khawaja says it's one of the toughest pitches he's ever batted on.
My God, that wicket is just ragging. It's day 1 was unbelievable. Day 2, the guys have batted extremely well to get 300.
To footy, and Jace Burgoyne is on the verge of making his power debut. He's one of 5 players named in Port's extended squad. Well, the Crows have made 3 changes against Melbourne. Riley Thilthorpe returns along with Lockie Murphy and Chase Jones. Well, finally, the Tour de France gets underway tonight. The first 3 stages begin in Denmark before the tour moves into France. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
In the Parklands, Rundle Road is closed between East Terrace and Kettleville Terrace for the Illuminate Festival. Dry Creek, a burst water main there, Churchill Road North near Parkin Street down to 25 k's. Clemzig, another burst water main, OG Road at 2nd Avenue, slow going through there as well. And we're busy right now, Cavern Road at Dry Creek. A few cameras for the drive-in to keep in mind, East Avenue, Clarence Park and Everard Avenue at Ashford. Get $10 off at Coles on click and collect orders over $150 and still i5. Head to coles.com.au and use promo code COLLECT10. T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA forecast.
Hitachi Air Conditioners. Be comfortable all year round. Visit hitachieaircon.com.au now.
15 today and partly cloudy. Cloudy tomorrow 14. Sunday partly cloudy 14. Right now it's 11 degrees. More news as it happens on 5AA.
Introducing Australia's Most Wanted. Unanimously judged as Cars of the Year. The fully electric Kia EV6, winner of Wheels Car of the Year. And the Kia Sportage, Drives Car of the Year. To pick your side in this sibling rivalry, visit kia.com.au.
Kia. Movement that inspires.
You're listening to 5AA Breakfast. Jade Robran and Tom Wren.
7:36 on this Friday morning, but it is very late in the night in Paris, where we join Phil Curry, political editor of the Australian Financial Review. Good evening to you. Good morning to us, Phil.
Hey, hi, Jane. Hi, Tom. How are you?
We're good. We know that you've been absolutely flat out, so we really appreciate your time. The Prime Minister is now in Paris after wrapping up the NATO summit in Spain. How did it all go?
Look, Spain was very interesting. The whole world sort of jumped on China and Russia. It was the NATO summit, and they sort of, after 2 days of deliberations, the West, if you like, put out a pretty strong statement about what they think of China and Russia, what Russia's done in Ukraine, and the sort of threat that China presents. So Australia was there as a sort of guest, along with a bunch of other non-NATO countries, and everyone was in furious agreement. So sort of back to that situation again. The Chinese are cranky at us. So Anthony Albanese came into government sort of thinking maybe we could strike a different tone with China and this sort of thing. But at the end of the day, they've done some pretty seriously bad things, and we're aligned with a lot of the rest of the world against what they've done. And so sort of back to where we started again, really. New government, same situation.
Well, is it all talky-talky, or are we sitting around this round table at the NATO summit and actually going to act, actually going to do something?
Well, you can only do so much, Jay. The trouble is that, Vladimir Putin is crazy and he's got a nuclear weapon. So, if this was something like, for example, Iraq invading Kuwait back in 1990 or something, the West would just go in and sort of sort it out. But this is a much different situation, and it's scary. We've got nation states invading another nation state. But what they have done, and it's sort of difficult to explain, but unless you're over here, but it's quite, it's quite worrying how serious it all is. But what NATO has done in the last few days. It's okay. We're not going to invade Russia, but if Russia steps a foot over the border, it's going to be big trouble. They've agreed to send 3,000 troops to the border to the east of Europe. To be on sort of ready alert if Russia steps foot into Lithuania or something like that. The Americans have announced a massive arms build-up in Russia, ships, planes, men. In response, 2 more countries in Europe, Sweden and Finland, they've been sort of neutral since World War II. They've joined NATO, which means if you're a member of NATO and someone attacks you, everyone else comes to your aid. So it's like a big protective blanket. So they've certainly put this big ring around, if you like. It doesn't help the poor Ukrainians, doesn't sort of solve the immediate problem, but it is a sign of the world's just had enough and it's doing what it can do.
Phil, now I guess all attention for Anthony Albanese shifts to the French president, Emmanuel Macron. Is it a bit of bridge bending going on now? I mean, obviously the submarine scandal with the previous government caused a few issues. How's he going to approach this situation?
Well, it's a good question, Tom. So it's like, oh goodness, it's around midnight here Thursday, so Friday afternoon, or Friday lunchtime. Paris time, that's when Albanese is going to go to the Elysee Palace and see Macron. Look, I think you've got to be a bit careful. You don't want to be seen a bit grovelling. I mean, it was, regardless of whether Scott Morrison handled the submarine thing badly or not, and I don't think it's entirely as bad as the French think it is, but it was a national security decision to steer away from the French and go towards this nuclear submarine. So you've got to sort of make the French, you've got to sort of, they're quite cranky, obviously, and have been. So it is and you do need the French on side for both military and economic reasons. Without the French, we'll never do a free trade agreement with the European Union, and there's a lot of talk of that getting underway again now that there's been a change of government. So you've sort of got to reset the relationship, I think, from a domestic perspective. You don't want to be seen as grovelling to them either, or ultimately apologising for a national security situation. So it's a bit of a balancing act.
Phil, a bit of an awkward encounter for the PM when he arrived in Paris, where he was meeting with the Canadian President Justin Trudeau. Did he forget Albo's name?
Yeah, what do you call him again? I forgot.
He didn't. That's the whole thing. He didn't call him anything.
That's it. And then it was his name, moment. Yeah, it's happened so many times over the years, but they have a blank. I can't remember the Australian Prime Minister's name. So hardly Albo's fault. I think he called him Tony, didn't he?
Yeah,
he introduced him as Tony.
It was a bit awkward.
That was the Prime Minister about 3 terms ago.
I mean Anthony Tony. No one's ever called Albanese Tony, but I guess he is a Tony. But who knows? A bit of light entertainment in an otherwise serious environment. So
That's right. Well, it gives people like us fodder to play with on Breakfast Radio. Phil Curry, thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Bye-bye.
Cheers.
Good stuff, Phil.
Political editor at the Australian Financial Review, joining us in the middle of the night in Paris, so we're very grateful for that.
Yeah, absolutely, and he'd be pretty happy as well. He's a big Carlton man, so they've got a big game tonight. He'd be delighted with the way the Blues are going.
Yeah, very good. We've got a few tips here on how to forget and remember people's names. Good morning. Oh, A-Team. That's very nice of you, Quinton. I don't know about that. Here's a tip. If you forgot when you're greeting, you can ask for their name, and they say Jade, and you say, no, not your first name, your last. Problem solved. So smooth. I'm going to use that one, Quinton. Thank you very much. It's time now to take a trip down memory lane. We're joined by Michael Smith, 7 News Flashback segment. How are you this morning, Michael?
Good morning, Jade and Tom. A long-time listener, first-time caller. I reckon we could call this week's Flashback Splashback, because we're looking at the curious history of the Aquatic Centre in North Adelaide. As you guys would be aware, consultation is currently underway about where the new Aquatic Centre should be built in North Adelaide. So we thought we'd look back at how it came to be there originally and how it's evolved over the years. It originally opened there in 1969 when it was called the Adelaide Swimming Centre, and it was designed to replace the city baths. Are you aware of the city baths?
No.
So the city baths used to be immediately behind Parliament House on King William Road. So you know where the metal trees are now on Festival Plaza? There used to be an Olympic swimming pool and steam baths and all sorts of things. And among the people who trained there back in the day was Dawn Fraser with Harry Gallagher. She actually lived at the city baths with the Gallaghers in a flat above the pool.
Oh, wow.
Anyway, long story short, when they thought the festival centre should be built there, they had to demolish the city baths. So the Adelaide Swimming Centre was opened in 1969 in the parklands, but it was open air. The roof that's on it now wasn't built until 1985. And in typical Adelaide style, it took about 5 years of debate before they could settle on the design and get the thing built. And at one stage, they were even talking about building a new aquatic centre on the old West End Brewery site in Hindley Street. I've caught up with Olympic swimmer Phil Rogers, who's a life member of the North Adelaide Aquatic Centre, and first started training there when it was open air, back in 1981.
I was a member of the Clovercrest Swimming Club, and we used to do all of our inter-club and state championships here back when it was outdoors, before they put a roof on the place. You know, on a warm summer's day, there was nothing better. But even in Adelaide in the middle of summer, you can get some cool evenings. And you know, if you were here swimming on one of those evenings, you tended to rug up in a sleeping bag in between events, and you know, that was the reason why I think the roof came about.
Can you imagine swimming outdoors in the parklands now?
No, freezing.
And, of course, at its height, like in the late 80s, it actually held some major competitions, like the selection trials for the Auckland Commonwealth Games were held there. There were Pan-Pacific selection trials. It hosted the National Short Course Championships. All sorts of famous people swum in the pool, and when you watch Flashback this Sunday night, you'll see the likes of Lisa Curry-Kenny, a very young Hayley Lewis just starting out.
Hayley
and, of course, Phil Rogers, just before he launched his Olympic career.
Wow, what a blast from the past. That is a great flashback segment. Michael, looking forward to that. And I'm looking forward to next week as well. We're going to have a lot of fun on 5AA Brekkie.
Well, I'm not so sure about that, Tom, because I just heard Sammy call you out, Jade, on the old Tom Rentor Hentor thing. And if he's going to be doing that with me...
Yes, slap him silly.
Someone will come in now.
I know, that's right. That doesn't work for good team camaraderie, does it?
It'll be a lot of fun. Looking forward to it, Tom.
Nah, great stuff.
Thank you, Michael Smith there from 7 News Flashback segment. You can catch that on the weekend on 7 News. We are going to continue to take your calls. When have you forgotten someone's name? Got it dramatically wrong, like we just heard then with the Canadian President, Justin Trudeau, just blatantly forgot who Anthony Albanese is. We've got a couple of calls, 8223 0000.
At Clemzig, burst water main, OG Road at 2nd Avenue, slow going through there. And another burst water main, this one's at Dry Creek, Churchill Road North near Parkin Street, speeds reduced. Busy at the moment, Cavan Road at Dry Creek, with cameras Old Port Wakefield Road 2 Wells and Stonehouse Avenue at Campton Park. Keep the kids entertained these school holidays at the Reject Shop. You'll find arts and crafts, toys and snacks. Head in store to the Reject Shop and enjoy more savings these school holidays. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Do you still love your car? Why not take it to Edwardstown Mazda to see what it's really worth? It's the safest and easiest way to move your car on and get into a new or used Mazda. 862 South Road, Edwardstown.
My Macca's Rewards means now you can earn points with your Macca's run before and after the next game. Redeem your rewards points on all your faves. Order, earn and enjoy with My Macca's Rewards today. Macca's SA, the home of footy. Exclusions apply. Available at participating restaurants.
Ever wondered if retirement living would suit you? This winter, come along to our free FIVEAA open home events and get a sneak peek of the lifestyle you could enjoy. Explore our communities, inspect our display homes and chat with our friendly team. With 12 events across Adelaide from the 12th to the 16th of July, we look forward to welcoming you. Attendees must be vaccinated and all events will operate with a COVID-safe plan. Take the first step and search FIVEAA Open Home today. RSVP is essential.
Sold by Magain again.
Now, as you all know, Jade, homes are still selling quickly, so it's important to get along to these open inspections.
Tomorrow from 11 to 11:30am, Mike Dobbin and Zoe Ball, they're opening 2/22 Solace Drive, Morphett Vale. This stunning 3-bedroom home features a newly renovated modern kitchen and stylish ensuite bathroom, open plan living area and double sliding doors to a great alfresco entertaining area. A fantastic low maintenance home, perfect for busy Easy Professionals or downsizers, $495K to $545K.
Now, also tomorrow from 2 until 2:30, they work hard, Mike and Zoe. They are fantastic. Dealt with them personally. Love what they do. They're opening 5 Cass Court, Woodcroft. This is a spacious 3-bedroom home. It's great for growing families with a renovated bathroom, 2 separate living areas, undercover entertaining area and a large double carport. Plus, there's a second driveway for added parking. How good is that? Again, $495 to $545K.
You can take a look at these properties and all the McGain listings at mcgain.com.au.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head online to 5AA Facebook or search 5AA on YouTube. You're listening to 5AA Breakfast. Jade Robran and Tom Wren.
On the 1st of July is an appropriate time with the new year to enter a new dawn and a new arrangement between Australia and France.
Anthony Albanese there. He's arrived in Paris with his world leader counterparts, but he met up with Canadian President Justin Trudeau, who appeared to forget Albo's name.
It's a real pleasure to be meeting with a great progressive leader. We're really excited to have a friend in Australia. Australia's been a long-time friend, but with Prime Minister Albanese, we have someone now who we're going to be able to dig into on climate change, on inclusive economic growth, on reconciliation, on the range of issues that we...
Oh,
Did he get his, did he get his surname
name?
at the end there? Did he say Albanese?
He got there at the
But he
very,
didn't get
very end.
He didn't get his first name though, did he?
No, he didn't, Tom. He did not. So we want to put a call out. When have you ever gotten someone's name really wrong? 8223 0000. We've got a couple of double passes to give away to Illuminate. Sue from Christie's Beach, good morning.
Good morning, Jade. Good morning, Tommy. Thank you so much for this week. As much as I love the boys, it's been really enjoyable.
Oh, thank you, Sue. We'll have you back anytime.
She's a star.
Okay. Now my story, I actually got saved because I used to be the president of my hockey club.
Okay.
And we had our centenary, which I was emceeing.
What hockey club, Sue? Sorry.
Blackwood.
Lovely.
Now, as we speak, I haven't got video call for you, but I've got a bird standing on my head. I feel like Jesus sometimes. No, seriously, I do. Anyway, sorry. Blackwood Hockey Club, it's a women's club. It was, I mean, you're not allowed to say that anymore, but there was no men's Blackwood team. And that was my club. And, and I was the president. And we had our centenary coming up. And we had 3 oldie goldies. I mean, obviously not originals because they wouldn't have been 100, but they wouldn't have been far off. And they were coming to see us. And so I was doing my speech, and one of my friends who knows that I get stage fright really bad just wandered up on stage as I started talking and just looked like a sheaf of papers in front of me, but on top of it was this little tiny card with the 3 old girls' names on them, so that in case I forgot them, I had them at hand.
Oh, that's so nice. What a lifesaver.
Yeah. Oh, it was because one of them I would have remembered because it was actually this chick's mother. But apart from that, it would have gone right out of my head.
Sue, she saved the day. I hope you bought her a beer later in the night.
It's always important to do. Jade, you've hosted a lot of events. I've hosted a few as well. And to write people's names beforehand, if you've got more than one, especially if you haven't seen them too often before, or if it's an awards night, it's so important.
I've got scribble notes everywhere.
Yeah,
I've got Tom Wren written at the top of my notes here, so I don't forget you.
See, that's clever. That's clever because eminently forgettable. But if you do that, I find if I write something down, much better chance of remembering. If I don't write it down, if I only read it, then I'm in real trouble.
Well, poor Annie here. Early on in a relationship, I called my new husband my ex-husband's name. Oops.
Oh, that's a bit awkward.
That is awkward. It happens to the best of us.
Yeah, that
you
is.
do. You forget names all the time, but that's great advice. We are going to go to the best of Blakey now. Aussie Fast Transport Solutions, interstate freight distribution, warehousing and local Adelaide couriers. Call Aussie Fast 13 64.
The International Olympic Committee has the honour to announce that the Games of the 35th Olympiad I award it to Brisbane, Australia.
Brisbane won't be the same. Tell them they are dreaming. They have to pay for the Olympic Games.
David and Will were talking about, in fact, we were talking about the beds in the Olympic Village, about how they're made of cardboard. And I heard David and Will the other morning talking about how apparently the beds are designed so that if there's any sudden movement on them, they collapse. So they've been called anti-sex beds because the Olympic organisers are so clever in Japan. They've tested these beds so that any sort of, pelvic thrusting will bring your bed down.
Here in the Olympic Village, I'm alright. Waiting for my inbuilt passion to ignite. Got my complimentary condoms for tonight. Hope I don't get a fright on my anti-sex bed, anti-sex bed. It might collapse when bonking, try the floor instead. Anti-sex bed, anti-sex bed. It might fold up, that's what I dread.
This exchange between John Coates and Anastasia Palaszczuk has been described as disgraceful. John Coates, the head of the AOC. Now, Anastasia Palaszczuk has opted not to go to the Tokyo opening ceremony. She says not really a great look.
He just sounds like the most patronising and arrogant bloke, doesn't he? He just sounds like an old sexist pig.
And they're all laughing at the start, but by the end when he starts saying, well, you and your people need some education, get stuffed, mate.
He's the AOC president, John Coates is his name. And he sat there and thought, well, she's only a dame. Cause he's an asshole. What an asshole. What an asshole. She should have stood up and looked him in the eye and said, I'm not going, and I'll tell you why. Cause you're an asshole. You're an asshole. You're an asshole. Yes, you're an asshole. John Coates is an asshole.
You don't know the protocols. I think it's part of the lesson. It's a very important lesson for everyone here. Now, none of you are staying behind and hiding in your rooms, all right?
That was a big story at the time, wasn't it?
He is the best.
He's very good.
Now, we did hear from the Premier, Tom, earlier in that the Curley family have accepted a state funeral for Neil, and more details will be released in the coming days. And after 8:30 this morning, we're going to hear a bit of KG's chat with the sports show last night. KG was, of course, a very, very dear friend of Curl's, and we'd like to recognise that friendship and hear some of KG's memories from last night. I know a lot of our listeners have been sending in their thoughts, and they've been very concerned about KG. A lot of us have touched base with him, and his heart's broken and he's very sad, and he's we're wrapping our arms around him.
Yeah, and I thought the boys did a great job with him last night. I was on my way to the North Haven Footy Club last night, and it was Timmy G and Mark Bickley talking with KG, and some of the reminiscing they did was fantastic and very heartfelt. So we'll play a little bit of that chat, as you said, Jay, just after 8:30 this morning.
Nice.
But plenty more coming up after 8 o'clock as well in the next hour, so looking forward to that. Best of behind closed doors.
Mm-hmm. And you are being thrown under the bus today because we've been putting the calls out about when you've forgotten people's names or you've got things wrong. We're loving your calls, and Sue, we would love to send you off to Illuminate Adelaide Classic Underground. Sue called in and told us about when she forgot somebody's name. But if you look at our Auto Masters text line, more irony. Rennie, you just said you loved Farnsey, but Under Pressure isn't one of his songs. I think you meant Pressure Down from Julie.
Pressure Down.
It's got a little bit mixed up. We know what
Under
you
Pressure's,
meant.
yes,
Under
yeah, Queen.
Pressure.
Yep, sorry.
And then, hey, Rennie, what about that time at the Tennis
Bowie,
Essay Awards where you called your compere Shane Simon? Classic. We still call him Simon now, from Tammy, which you did tell that story. You own that one.
Yeah, I did. Tammy will remember, I had these looks of absolute horror. I didn't even realise I'd done it until I got to the first sort of interlude. And it was when COVID was happening, and it was, so we went off camera, and everyone's just looking at me, and I went, oh, I think I butchered the name there, didn't I? Oh, well.
I got one disgustingly wrong. I was at a school function and I got up on stage and I said, and welcome, all the mums and dads of Melbourne Grammar. And they were all really quiet. And then someone said, it's Brighton Grammar. And I got the schools completely and utterly wrong. So anyway, I took myself off stage, went back up and was like, oh, I'm sorry, Melbourne Grammar mums and dads. Don't think they like me for the whole night then after that, but oh well.
Yeah, and I'm sorry,
we
Shane.
move on. That's
Shane,
Melbourne, I don't even care.
Yeah, you're back in Adelaide now. And I'm sorry, Shane, I still work with him, and I don't think he's forgiven me, but he'll get over it one day, hopefully.
Oh, Jane, Jade, I get that.
Yeah.
You know, Simon, Shane, whatever.
What's a few consonants between friends?
Exactly. We're going to take a short break. We'll be back soon.
The fight is on in South Australia. The fight to save lives. The fight to find cures to diseases and illnesses. And the fight to improve care. The opponent might seem invincible, but together we can take it on. When you support the Hospital Research Foundation, you join the fight and help us hit back at disease and illness. The Hospital Research Foundation Group. Together, fight.
It's okay to want more, which is why more and more people choose Mawson Lakes Volkswagen to service their car, especially Volkswagen owners. At Mawson Lakes Volkswagen, we offer state-of-the-art servicing, complimentary loan cars, next-day servicing, and breakfast or lunch is on us. Why? Because when you're Adelaide's newest Volkswagen dealer, you want to give more. Mawson Lakes Volkswagen, just a short drive from the city. Visit mawsonlakesvw.com.au and book your service today.
You know us for our bright blue vans. Metropolitan Plumbing, Electrical and Air Conditioning. We are the proud winners of the Product Review Award for Plumbing in Australia for 2020 and 21. Did you know we offer $0 deposit interest-free payment plans, have no extra charge for after hours, and can also often be at your door within the hour? Metropolitan Plumbing, Electrical and Air Conditioning. Available 24/7.
9 News has the experience to break the news. Made in Adelaide for Adelaide. 9 News.
Online, on DAB Digital Radio and on 1395 AM. Talking Adelaide. This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Partly cloudy, 15 today with the 8 o'clock news. I'm Mel Usher.
Physio Extra hands-on physio at 6 locations. Even more convenient now with online bookings at physioextra.com.
The Premier has announced there'll be a state funeral for Neil Curley. Peter Malinauskas spoke to the family last night.
I'm very keen to make sure that the state funeral is done in a way that is consistent with all of the family's requests. I mean, they know Neil best and how to honour him best, and this will be a state funeral that is arranged very much in conjunction with the family's wishes. So that'll be worked out over coming days.
The football great died on Wednesday following a car crash at Walker Flat. He was 88. 3 cable thieves have been caught at Morphettville. Senior Constable Kimberly Broad says they received a tip-off early this morning.
We had a witness call up reporting someone rolling a large wheel of cable away from a new housing development on Nilpena Avenue at Morphettville. Patrols attended and saw the track marks left by the wheel and also found that there was a generator that had its electrical cables cut. Officers followed the fresh tracks straight to the garage of a nearby home and located that stolen wheel of cabling.
The 24-hour COVID testing site at Victoria Park is getting ready to close its doors. It will shut at 9 this morning to make way for Adelaide 500 works. The replacement site is located at Edwards Park on Anzac Highway. The vaccination site at Manopara is also shutting up shop today, while vaccine sites at the Maya Centre, Kilkenny and Enfield will cease tomorrow. It's July the 1st. Almost 3 million of Australia's lowest paid workers will enjoy a salary boost from today. Lucy Gray reports.
As we enter the new financial year, changes to wage and superannuation payments have started to take effect. A 5.2% boost to the minimum wage will see Australia's lowest paid workers earn an extra $40 per week. The biggest winners will be women and part-time workers in sectors such as healthcare, accommodation and retail. Employers are also being reminded compulsory super contributions increase from 10% to 10.5%.
And the Tax Office is reminding us we can claim work-related COVID expenses when filing our returns, but ATO Assistant Commissioner Tim Lowe says there are certain conditions you have to meet.
You must have spent the money yourself and not be reimbursed by your employer. It must be work-related. You can't claim a deduction for a rapid antigen test if you're working out whether you can go on a holiday with your mates. And finally, you need a good record for it.
The European Union will ban the sale of all new cars and vans powered by fossil fuels within 12 years. The agreement will ratchet up pressure on Australia to raise its lagging fuel efficiency standards. The federal government has today introduced tax cuts to bring down the cost of vehicles. But Behar Jafari from the Electric Vehicle Council says fuel efficiency standards would have an even bigger impact on EV uptake in Australia.
Now something like half of the world's car market has said that they're going to ban petrol and diesel cars by 2035. And by Australia not having these standards in place, car makers are sort of scratching their heads and saying, well, everybody else is telling us to bring them there and you guys aren't.
There was only one winner in last night's Powerball. A dad from Canberra is now $60 million richer. He plans to live debt-free for the rest of his life and go on a long overdue holiday with his family. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
New Mitsubishi Triton with 10-year warranty, 10-year capped price servicing at Agostino Mitsubishi, Nailsworth and Elizabeth.
Here's Jace Kemp.
Thank you, Mel. Let's start with tennis. And Aussies Alex de Minaur and Nick Kyrgios are through to the third round at Wimbledon. De Minaur down Jack Draper in 4 sets, while Kyrgios defeated Filip Krajinovic in 3.
I just really wanted to go out there today and just remind everyone that I'm able to play some really good tennis without any distractions. The crowd enjoyed it today and it was just businesslike. That's it. And it's just amazing how quick the media swings.
Fellow Aussie Ayla Tomljanovic also had a straight sets win. To footy in Port Adelaide could welcome back Robbie Gray and Orazio Fantasia from injury against the Dockers, while Riley Thilthorpe returns for the Crows against Melbourne. Meantime, Brisbane defeated the Western Bulldogs by 41 points, while St Kilda faces Carlton later tonight. To cricket in Australia is 8 for 313, heading into day 3 against Sri Lanka. Alex Carey fell just shy of a half century, while Cam Green top score was 77 before being dismissed.
Is this a good shot? Is this a good shot and given? Cameron Green will ask to go upstairs, but from around the wicket it's just got to pitch on and straighten.
That audio thanks to Fox. The most gruelling bike race in the world gets underway tonight. Caleb Ewing is among 9 Aussies competing in the Tour de France. The race begins in Denmark with a time trial before making its way into France. Well, finally in the basketball, the Boomers have survived the scare from China to win its World Cup qualifier. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
In the Parklands, Rundle Road is closed between East Terrace and Ketterwood Terrace for the Illuminate Festival. Dry Creek, look out for burst waterway today. Churchill Road north near Parkin Street down to 25 k's. And Brooklyn Park, we've got Stobie Pole works on Henley Beach Road near Holbrooks Road as you're heading towards the beach. Busy right now, West Terrace in the city with a camera Anzac Highway at Karata Park. Don't miss the film everyone's talking about, Baz Luhrmann's Elvis, starring Austin Butler and Tom Hanks, the must-see movie event of the year. Experience it in cinemas now. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA forecast.
Hitachi Air Conditioners. Be comfortable all year round. Visit hitachieaircon.com.au now.
A partly cloudy day on the way with a top of 15. Cloudy tomorrow 14. Sunday partly cloudy 14. Right now it's 11 degrees. More news as it happens on 5AA.
Don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you've got till it's gone.
You're listening to 5AA Breakfast. Jade Robran and Tom Wren.
Good morning. It is 7 minutes past 8 o'clock. Jade Robran and Tommy Wren taking you through to 9 o'clock. Great to have your company on this Friday morning as we look out the studio. A little bit grey over the hills there. A little bit of rain looks like it's coming through, but beautiful balmy 10 degrees this morning, reaching a top of about 16 degrees today. I love my gin, Tom. Love it.
It's really good, isn't it? And it's really taken off probably in the last 10 or 15 years. I think a lot of people have switched to gin or they use that as their spirit of choice. It's one of the cleaner alcohols and so refreshing as well.
Well, great news for one of our South Aussie gin companies. 78 degrees. They've cleared up at a competition. There's basically the Oscars for alcohol. It's called the San Francisco World Spirits Competition. Like an actor walking away with an award like this, it can launch you into mega
big
stardom. It's great news. And joining us is Sasha Laforgia from 78 Degrees Gin. Good morning to you. How are you?
Good morning. I'm great, thanks.
Well, congratulations on the win. What gin walked away with the award, and tell us what the award is.
So it was our 78 Degrees Sunset Gin, and it won double gold and best in class. So one of the best gins in the competition.
What makes it so special?
Well, I love it. that's no secret there. I love it. I think it's fantastic. But it's a beautiful gin. It's infused with strawberry gum, which is a native gum that grows here in Australia, mostly on the east coast. But the leaves have this incredible strawberry eucalypt flavour. So it's a really unique flavour that we have here in Australia that we can offer the world that no one else has access to.
That's amazing. And Sasha, it's a pretty competitive market. We were just, in the intro discussing how much, gin is exploded in popularity. I mean, it's a tough field out there. There's a lot of people making gin these days.
Yeah, that's right. It's really, really popular. And that competition in San Francisco has thousands and thousands of gin enter from all around the world.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's a great time to be a drinker. The gin category is really interesting. There's so many different flavours and aromas and stories to explore. So once you get started, it's really interesting.
Sasha, what does winning an award like this do for you?
Well, I guess it sort of gives a bit of credibility, and it sort of tells the world, what we think is great flavours are great flavours. And obviously great exposure over there in North America and throughout Europe as well.
In London recently, you also won the title of Distillers of the Year, beating a London gin recipe that was, 500 years old. Go the new kids on the block.
Yeah, well, that's right. Yeah. If you think about it, gin was developed in the 12th century over there in London. So there's been hundreds of years of R&D and development to get to their recipe. Here in Australia, it really kicked off 5-6 years ago.
Mm.
And we're using flavours that grow here in Australia that no one's really worked on before, so it's not in gin anyway.
Mm.
So for the Australian industry to be doing so well and winning awards like these, it just shows, the potential that we have in this country using the things that grow around us. And taking them to the world.
It's fantastic to see that happen and get, that recognition on the international stage. What sparked this interest for you, Sasha? Have you always been in the industry, or what really piqued it for you?
Yeah, so I guess I started distilling when I was younger, just at home in the laundry. And then I became a winemaker and ended up travelling around the world learning how to make wine. And overseas, the distilling industry is fairly vibrant, or at least it was, 10, 15 years ago, where in Australia, it had gone out of fashion completely. So I was lucky enough to be exposed to all these things happening overseas, and then, just came home and had to go here.
Friday knockoff start in about an hour for Tommy and I. How do you pour the perfect gin? I think, the most important thing is that the best drink in the world is the one that you like. Yeah, nice.
So if you like it, drink it, right? If you don't. But if you're drinking Sunset Gin, I think it goes, beautifully just with tonic. So one part gin, 3 parts tonic, lots of ice, and I always like a citrus garnish.
Nice. I've been putting grapefruit in mine, dried grapefruit lately.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Fancy.
Beautiful.
Sasha, thank you so much. Sasha Laforgia there from 78 Degrees Gin. And if you go into your bottle shop and you want to try this Sunset one that they were talking about, it's that beautiful pink bottle on the shelf there, and it's just stunning. They're doing great things to the guys up there, and they're based at Lot 100.
Which is, fantastic. And as we just, mentioned, the fact that they've won this award just shows you that we're making the very best stuff globally right here.
When you're up against thousands of people, it's incredible. There is a film. Hollywood has come to North Queensland. It's called Wizards. You might have seen in the paper, in the press, that you've got Orlando Bloom and Katy Perry's been up there. They've been in Cairns visiting different cafes and restaurants. And I don't know if you know Pete Davidson. He's from Saturday Night Live, and he's dating Kim Kardashian, who is the biggest thing in the world, and she posts something on social media and gets millions and millions of followers. They're up there as well filming, and it's just put this little pocket of Australia on this world global map. It's gone absolutely nuts. Let's talk to Sam Arnold, an Adelaide guy who is up there, and he's in the film. He's rubbing shoulders with Hollywood A-list. Sam, good morning.
Yeah, great to chat with you, Jade. And
Great
Tom.
to have you on the show too. So tell us, what's this movie all about?
Yeah, the movie's called Wizards, and it's a comedy film that's being filmed up here in far north Queensland, mostly in the Daintree region. And it's being funded by, produced by Brad Pitt's company called Plan B Entertainment. And we've got about 100 crew working on set right now. And it's been, but I've got to say, the last 48 hours has been quite hectic because we've just received about a year's worth of rain in Port Douglas and the Daintree in the last 48 hours. So, it's kind of throwing the production into a bit of chaos at the moment. But
bit hectic. Did they have to evacuate the stars?
No, they're all still out there. So they're out there in Cape Kimberley at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So we just finished. We just wrapped some scenes in Cape Tribulation, and I was working with Orlando and Pete and Franz out there in an abandoned resort, if you can believe it, out there on the beach.
Wow.
So,
tell us what that's like. What are they like? I mean, we all love to do a bit of navel gazing and find out what they're like to work with, etc. It must have been a great experience.
It's a fantastic experience. It's not every day that I get to spend the night in an abandoned resort with Orlando Bloom, I've got to admit. So, it's not something that I do often. But no, we were getting blown away off the beach because we've had these trade winds coming through. So that was hampering the production a little bit. But we were able to get the scenes done at Cape Trip. And then we've now moved down to Cape Kimberley, where we're filming in some caves. Basically, the movie is about two hapless beach bar operators that stumble across some loot, some stolen treasure on the beach, and they decide to open up the loot, and the story takes off from there. So, it's a fun script.
Great. And what's your have you got a big role in this one, Sam?
Not a big role. I've never had any big roles, Tom, actually. but I play the role of a barman in the movie.
Fantastic.
So, but I also assisted the director David Nishod with the locations as well, because I've had 8 years of local knowledge of the Daintree, and was able to help David select some of the remote locations which are perfect for cinematography in the film.
Sounds great. Sam, thank you so much. It sounds like a good, fun trip. You stay safe up there now?
Will do. I'm just hunkering down here back in at my home in Port Douglas. We just hope the weather clears in the next few days so we can continue filming.
Absolutely. Sam Arnold, thank you, local actor there.
What a thrill.
And Adelaide boy in Port Douglas. He was saying he was, pumping weights with Orlando Bloom and just, incredible.
How good's that? And like he said, I mean, just throw in a bit of rainfall. He said, what was it, a month's rainfall, I think, in 48 hours or something crazy like that. So it's all happening up there, but, I mean, that is a magnificent opportunity, and he sounds pretty excited to be there as well. So fantastic stuff.
It is 16 minutes past 8 o'clock. Let's get a touch of traffic and find out what's happening when you're run into work.
Good morning. In the Parklands, Rundle Road is closed between East Terrace and Kettleville Terrace for the Illuminate Festival. Brooklyn Park, you'll find Stobie pole works this morning on Henley Beach Road near Holbrooks Road. That's as you're heading towards the beach. And keep an eye out for a burst water made at Dry Creek, Churchill Road North near Parkin Streets. Busy at the moment, West Terrace in the city, also Cavern Road at Dry Creek. And look out for a camera, Anderson Walk at Smithfield. The 2-day sale is starting tomorrow at Harris Scarf. Hot deals on a wide range of homewares and fashion. That's great brands at great prices. Only at Harris Scarf. Sale ends this Sunday. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Soak up the winter rain and huge savings at Vidoulis Garden Centre's massive end of financial year sale. Get 20% off everything in store. That's 20% off outdoor furniture and barbecues, 20% off all plants, 20% off pots and potting mix, 20% off giftware and homewares. Yes, that's 20% off everything. On now till Sunday, July 3rd, Vidoulis Garden Centre's end of financial year sale, Main North Road, Gawler, opposite the racecourse. Some conditions apply.
Hey, it's Cam and Ali with an important message about bowel cancer. So listen up.
Bowel cancer takes more lives than breast, prostate or skin cancer. But 90% of bowel cancers can be treated successfully if caught early.
That's why everyone aged 50 to 74 has a free test kit delivered every 2 years. If you have a kit, get to it. We've done it. It only takes a few minutes.
And those few minutes could save your life. Need more info? head to bowelcancer.org.au.
The Adelaide Central Market is open and it's not going anywhere.
Now, you might notice some changes in the market precinct as the exciting new market expansion gets underway, but don't worry. Your favourite traders, your weekly fruit and veg, your fresh seafood and morning coffees, as you said, Jane, they aren't going anywhere.
For over 150 years, there's been nothing else like our market. From early morning till late at night, the market is a collective of people coming together to create the cultural heart of Adelaide, the way we know it best, through incredible food.
Now, the market is home to over 70 passionate traders, familiar faces, making sure our market is overflowing with the very best and freshest produce and specialty goods every single market day.
It might be growing, but the market you know and love is open throughout all stages of construction with plenty of easy undercover parking. Pay the market a visit, trading as always Tuesday to Saturday.
Hi, Rodney Jane here. This month get massive winter deals at Bob Jane T-Marts. If you buy 3 tyres, we'll give you the 4th absolutely free and get up to $100 instant cashback on top brands such as Bridgestone, Yokohama, Continental, Goodyear, Dunlop and J-Trax. We have Australia's largest range of tyres from just $69 and alloy wheels from only $125. Your local Bob Jane store won't be beaten on price. We'll look after you.
T&Cs apply.
9 News has the experience to break the news. Made in Adelaide for Adelaide. 9 News. You're listening to 5AA Breakfast. Jade Robran and Tom Wren.
Welcome back. It is 20 minutes past 8 o'clock on this beautiful Friday morning. Thank you so much for joining Tom and myself. Last day for me, last half an hour as we cruised through to 9 o'clock. Leon Biner is coming up after 9 o'clock. But now a big game for Port v Freo. Let's now talk to Orazio Fantasia, Rainwise Pools, family-owned building pools in SA for over 15 years. You can Google Rainwise Pools Adelaide.
Orazio Fantasia, intercepted almost by Orazio Fantasia. Orazio Fantasia, Orazio Fantasia, Orazio Fantasia, Orazio. Ho, 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 it's my dick.
Good morning to you. What fantastic news. Fit, are you boarding the plane to Perth?
Good morning. Yeah, well, the plan is to board the plane, definitely. I've got a bit of a tight hip flexor, which was out and about on the news last night, but I'll speak to the physios and see how we go. Hopefully I can get on the plane, but if it's still a little bit tight, we'll probably take no risks, just because I've done all the work and I'd hate to get injured now, being so close to the plane.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. We were going to say, your body, you obviously played last week and did really well, Orazio, 16 touches, albeit a fraction inaccurate, but at least you're getting some shots on goal. But the hip flexor, it's obviously not too serious, but something that is causing a little bit of a concern.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, last week was great and I had so much fun playing. You're right, I did kick pretty averagely, but that's footy and I haven't played since the prelim. So, it just goes to show, how important pre-season and actually getting miles into your legs is, so just kicking lots, you get a little bit tight, you get a few niggles just because I just haven't done it for a long period of time.
So how will they test that today, Orazio, your hip flexor?
Yeah, I did get a scan yesterday, so I snuck past all the media. There was none there, thankfully. Rennie, you weren't there. I thought you'd be somewhere in the vicinity.
Just hiding.
Just lurking.
Lurking.
Yeah, coming out. But no, there was. I got a little scan, so we'll just talk about the results this morning and see how we go. But yeah, there's nothing too concerning because I can walk around and I trained fully Wednesday and ran really well. So it's just to double check and make sure nothing too serious is wrong.
How do you keep up all the time, Orazio, when you think you're there, then another little setback? How do you keep so positive?
Yeah, well, that's the game. Unfortunately, it can be beautiful and it can be cruel, but I think it's just you love doing it. It's like anything, whatever you love, it's just, I could be laying bricks today, but I still get to come to work and it's not even work, Now I get to have a run around with the boys and have a kick and it's doing what you love. So, it can be frustrating, don't get me wrong, and you can be pretty upset and pretty flat at times, but, there's definitely worse things out there and it's never as bad as it seems, I think.
Yeah.
Speaking of the boys, speaking of love of the game, you can just tell that they're up and about. The passion's back. The love's there again.
Yeah, and you can see that in how we're playing, how we're celebrating. Little wins like that on the weekend. Sometimes you have to win ugly, but you can see what it meant to the boys after we did that, and hopefully we can do that again against FIVEAA, because it's really in our hands, and I think that's what you want. You saw the Bulldogs last night. It doesn't matter if you're off a little bit, like you'll lose, and Brisbane the week before against Melbourne, if you're off slightly, you can lose. So the game's really, and our season in our hands, which is exciting.
It certainly is, and 7 of the last 9 suggests you are playing some really good footy at the moment. Jace Burgoyne named in the squad, so a chance for another father-son debutant. That would be fantastic. Just tell us a little bit about him, Orazio.
Yeah, Jace, we call him Slim. As you can imagine, he's quite skinny. But I said to him when I got drafted, I think I was skinnier than he was. So the way he goes about his footy is, quite phenomenal. For a little guy, he is hard at it. He can take a hanger. He's really skillful. I think it's a credit to him to be so close to playing, and maybe playing if he gets through some training. I'm not sure what the squad looks like exactly. But if he does play, it's a credit to him how far he's come from pre-season, to now. To play in your first year, not many guys get to do that. There's a few that come in and play every game when they're, 18, but they're already, they're Ollie Lyons. They're built like a man before they get here,
Yeah.
How's Robbie Gray tracking? Do you reckon he'll get a call back?
Yeah, when you've got the quality of Robbie Gray, I think if he's fit and he's ready to go, he comes back in any team. That's for sure. So he's been training really well. I think similar sort of thing for Robbie. Like, he did lots of pre-season and was quite fit, but hurt his knee in round 1, and then trying to just play when you're not 100% just takes a toll. Yeah. So he needed just probably a couple of weeks there just to get some continuity in his training, because he wasn't really training, which is pretty hard to do. Just sort of running and then playing on the weekends. It's pretty hard to do.
And I think another player that's been so important now that he's fully fit again is Aliir. Plays his 100th game on the weekend, 64 of those with Sydney. I think first South Sudanese player to reach 100 AFL games. He's a fabulous story, Orazio.
Oh, amazing story, amazing guy. I still count how lucky stars that Sydney let him come here. To be honest, what he's done for this locker room, his ability to bring guys together, but the way he plays is, incredible. He allows us to play the way we do. We can take care of his man. He can come off and intercept and help and really springboard our attack. So he's made a huge difference in such a short period of time.
And the Dockers this week, they've been almost one of the surprise packets. Justin Longview has got them humming along beautifully. They're a real premiership contender. Not an easy game taking on them in Perth, albeit I know you're playing fantastic footy, but they are a tough challenge this season.
Oh, definitely. And I think all those sort of top, sort of 8 teams, 10 teams at the moment are so close. And as I mentioned before, if you're off a little bit, anyone can beat you. But their midfield, they bat really deep. They've added Will Brodie in, who's absolutely dominating at the moment. So, and then you get Fife back in, Brayshaw, the list goes on and on. So I think it's going to be a really strong battle for us if we can match them inside in their contested possession, which is what they're really, really good at. Hopefully we can get a bit of speed on the outside. We've got Rosie in there. He adds that different sort of mix for us and get it in nice and deep to Big Charlie and the forwards. And Todd, this year's been outstanding. So
that's working beautifully. Orazio, thank you so much. I'm actually shattered, though, that you're on the phone, because this is the first time we've spoken. I was hoping you were going to come in with a whole tray of your mum's baklava.
No, I can do that next time. I said to Lucy off air that, I've been missing in action the last 2 weeks, so I need some coffees and croissants and a bit of everything. So
oh, yes, please.
I'll bring it next time.
Thank you so much.
Great work. Good luck with the hip flexor today too, Orazio. Hopefully he's going to get through and be okay.
Absolutely. And Sam, you've got a few words you'd like to say?
Yes, I'm back again. You know how I whacked Jade for stuffing up the name of our guest, Mark Renshaw, before? Well, Rennie,
oh, what have
it's your turn to be thrown under the bus. And I think this one's a bit worse, to be honest, because we all know the lovely Jade Robin, and her name is Jade.
Fresh seafood and morning coffees, as you said, Jane, they aren't going anywhere.
So there you go, Rennie, you've been whacked too.
Before, I think you said you get called Jane all the time.
I've planted it in your head.
I'm looking at I'm sitting 3 paces away from you and I've called you Jane.
You've been with me all week and you've called me Jane. Guess what, though? Sam just called me Jade Robin. You just introed me as Jade Robin then instead of Jade Robrin. I think I need to just change my name completely.
Lucy's now going to the tape.
For the next half hour, you can call us whatever you like, Jade. Or Jane.
Thanks, Bill and Bob. That's brilliant. The Flower Pot Men. Let's talk to Patricia in Glenelg. Good morning, Patricia.
Hello, Jade and Tom. Now, did I get that right?
You got that right. You did very well, Patricia.
Good. Now, I've mucked up many times, many times, and I also have compared a lot of events because I worked for a big charity here for many years. But one that was involved with your uncle, Jade.
Oh, right.
But, so I'd probably introduce him as your father's name or something. But my big one just recently, because I rather fancy myself as knowing what's going on around town, and somebody in Perth put a picture of themselves in amongst a whole lot of sunflowers. And I immediately knew that it was the exhibition that was, the Van Gogh exhibition that was in Adelaide.
Yes.
And it's going to be part of the Illuminate thing. But I did this great screed saying, "Oh, guys, fabulous to see you at the Da Vinci exhibition." I knew it was a Van Gogh exhibition, sunflowers, Van Gogh. And the woman who, again, fancies herself as knowing a lot of stuff, came back and said, "Yes, it was wonderful, Patricia, but sadly Da Vinci wasn't there, but Van Gogh was."
Whoopsie day. Oh, Patricia, I think Da Vinci is this year and Van Gogh was last year, so you're just ahead of your time.
Yeah,
that's
fine.
Right. Thank you so much for calling in, though. Congratulations. You have won a double pass to Illuminate Adelaide. Illuminate Adelaide back bigger, brighter and bolder in 2022, shining a light on SA all July, and you can visit illuminateadelaide.com. Sam?
Yes, we've gone to the tape. Here you go. Because we all know the lovely Jade Robin, and her name is Jade. I was being quick, all right? We're all stuffed up.
That.
The ref.
Yeah, good work.
Oh, dear.
Bit of karma, isn't it? Because we're giving you grief, and then, we both stuffed up pretty badly. Probably worse.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Sam. Lovely to have your company. Let's head into the newsroom.
This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Partly cloudy, 15 today with the 8:30 news. I'm Mel Usher.
Looking for the perfect winter exercise? Physio Extra offers clinical Pilates at 6 locations. PhysioExtra.com.
Neil Curley's family have accepted the Premier's offer of a state funeral. Peter Malinauskas called Barb Curley last night. The time and location will be confirmed in the coming days. It will be the second state funeral for a local football great in less than a year. Port legend Russell Ebert was given the honour in November. Police are investigating a car fire at Brooklyn Park early this morning. Senior Constable Kimberly Broad says it broke out under a carport at a block of units on Marion Road.
Luckily, the fire didn't spread to any other structures, but checks on the vehicle revealed it had been stolen from Henley Beach on the 25th of May. So we're just asking if anybody saw the stolen car being left at that address at Marion Road at Brooklyn Park, or if they saw anything else which may assist our investigation, if they could call us on Crime Stoppers.
A man was stabbed at Port Augusta overnight. He walked into the local police station bleeding from the chest before being rushed to hospital. His injury is not life-threatening. Police are investigating. The 38-year-old didn't know his attacker. It's the start of the new financial year. From today, the national minimum wage will increase by 5.2%, adding another $40 to weekly pay packets. Compulsory super contributions also increase from 10% to 10.5%. Treasurer Jim Chalmers says it's a win for some of our most vulnerable.
The biggest beneficiaries of this pay increase will be women, part-time workers and the heroes of the pandemic. And during this cost of living crisis, it's absolutely crucial that workers who are on low wages get an increase.
Prime Minister Anthony Albanese is hoping to repair Australia's relationship with France as he prepares for talks with Emmanuel Macron. Brett McLeod is in Paris.
Fresh from the NATO summit in Madrid, Mr Albanese is now trying to hit the reset button with the French government. He was a guest of the OECD, sitting alongside former Finance Minister Matthias Cormann, who now heads the organisation, spruiking Australia's credentials in climate change and investment for business. His next stop is the Elysee Palace, where he'll be holding the first formal face-to-face engagement since the submarine deal was sunk last year. He wouldn't say whether he'll be offering an apology to Mr Macron, saying it's time to look forward.
A protest will be staged in the city during peak hour tonight. The Adelaide Abortion Action Rally will start at Beehive Corner at 5 and make its way to Parliament House. Abortion rights activists and unions are taking to the streets following the US Supreme Court overturning Roe v. Wade. The consequence is a number of American states seeking to ban or restrict abortion access. Speakers will include Tammy Franks, MLC. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
10-year warranty and 10-year capped price servicing at Agostino Mitsubishi, Nailsworth and Elizabeth.
Here's Jace Kemp.
Thank you, Mel. Nick Kyrgios has blasted through to the third round at Wimbledon. He defeated Filip Krajinovic in straight sets. He faces Stefano Tsitsipas next, who beat fellow Aussie Jordan Thompson.
I'm excited. I feel like we've both earned the right. We're two of the biggest stars in the sport. So, hopefully if we both bring our best tennis, it's going to be amazing to watch.
Ayla Tomljanovic and Alex de Minaur also booked a spot in the next round. To footy, Orazio Fantasia says he could miss Sunday's match with Fremantle. Fantasia has told 5AA Breakfast he will have a last-minute fitness test after another injury setback.
I've got a bit of a tight hip section. I'll speak to the physios and see how we go. Hopefully I can get on the plane, but if it's still a little bit tight, we'll probably take no risk just because I've done all the work and I'd hate to get injured now.
To cricket, and Australia is 8 for 313 heading into day 3 against Sri Lanka. Cam Green top score was 77. Alex Carey fell just shy of a half century, while Usman Khawaja insists his relationship with Steve Smith is fine despite running his teammate out on day 1.
There's not really too much to it. I mean, we're both professional cricketers. Stuff that you don't plan happens and you just move on, you push on. You're always just looking into the future. If you dwell into the past, then it doesn't really help anyone or anything.
Coach Dave Rennie has named his Wallabies side to take on England in Saturday's test in Perth. Quade Cooper has won the race for the fly half jersey. Well, finally, Aussie basketballer Joe Ingles has agreed to a 1-year deal with the Milwaukee Bucks. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
Roads working well for the drive-in, which is good news. Simply some road works to look out for at Dry Creek, a burst water main there. Churchill Road North near Parkin Street down to 25 k's. Brooklyn Park, look out for Stobie Pole works. Henry Beach Road near Holbrooks Road. It's heading towards the beach. And in the parklands, Rundle Road is closed between East Terrace and Decateville Terrace for the Illuminate Festival. Busy at the moment at West Terrace in the city, and we've got a camera at Dawkins Road at Lewiston. Woolworths Direct to Boot is a quick and convenient way to shop. They pick and pop your order into your boot. You just have to order on the Woolworths app or online. Select locations, T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA weather.
Hitachi Air Conditioners. Be comfortable all year round. Visit hitachieaircon.com.au now.
A top of 15 for your Friday and partly cloudy. The weekend, cloudy tomorrow 14, Sunday partly cloudy 14. Right now it's 11 degrees. More news as it happens on 5AA.
So what were you saying about battery-powered garden tools over petrol ones?
They're often lighter, less noisy, and some battery-powered tools give the petrol ones a run for their money now.
Oh, and Stanford's got battery-powered mowers.
Heaps. And trimmers, blowers.
So why haven't you replaced the old petrol ones?
I'd never remember to charge them. What's that?
This? Oh, just a little battery rotation chart I made. What colours do they come in?
You're the best, hon.
Stanford Mowers, 590 Main North Road, Jepps Cross. stanfordmowers.com.au.
Here's 30 seconds by the sea, thanks to Coast Glenelg. Beachfront dining with modern Med cuisine. For oysters, crays and views, and impressive wine and cocktails too. Sounds like Coast Glenelg on the Pier Hotel Promenade. Book now via Fork.
Hi, Susanna Toop here. 30 days. That's the average time a rental property stays vacant. But at Toop & Toop, we find tenants in half the time, saving landlords an average of $860 a year. Who are you trusting to look after your biggest investment? Toop.com.au.
You know us for our bright blue vans. Metropolitan Plumbing, Electrical and Air Conditioning. We are the proud winners of the Product Review Award for Plumbing in Australia for 2020 and 21. Did you know we offer $0 deposit interest-free payment plans, have no extra charge for after hours, and can also often be at your door within the hour? Metropolitan Plumbing, Electrical and Air Conditioning. Available 24/7.
Need a forklift?
Don't just get a forklift, get a Toyota forklift. Toyota is the world's #1 forklift brand with a great range of pallet jacks, walkie stackers and reach forklifts right up to their leading Toyota counterbalance forklifts. Legendary reliability and safety with cleaner, greener electric options. Toyota can tailor the right forklift solution for you. It's all part of the Toyota Forklift Advantage. For more, visit toyotamaterialhandling.com.au.
Get a Toyota forklift.
You're listening to 5AA Breakfast. Jade Robran and Tom Wren.
Good morning. It is 8:38 on this Friday morning. Jade Robran and Tom Wren joining you as Will and Dave are on a well-earned break. Tom, earlier in the program we spoke to the Premier. He has confirmed that he called Barb and Gail, Neil's wife and daughter, and they have accepted his family, and they've accepted his offer to hold a state funeral in Neil Curley's offer, which is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
And also KG, we know that he is one of Neil's very, very dearest friends. It's hit him very, very hard. We've had lots of beautiful messages over the last couple of days with our lovely 5AA family, just touching base with us and asking how Cage is doing. He's written a letter to his mate. It's in the Advertiser today. It's really touching. It's a beautiful tribute. He also spoke to Bix and Timmy G last night on the Sports Show.
Tim and Bix, they were days when it was footy, and Kells was the man to sort of stir the panel up, if you like. He used to light the fire, then nick off and leave us to have a fight between ourselves. And they were wonderful days. Maxwell, Curls, the late Wally May, Wally May on Channel 9.
I remember one in particular, Cage, where Mal Brown came on, and it might have been after a state game or something. And gee whiz, you got Mal and Curls going at one another. That is spark fire.
They were like two raging bulls. But you know, he was a unique character. When Curls was made or born, they threw the mould away because there will never be another Neil Curley. His influence on my life was enormous, not just in my sport, but in my life generally. And it's only for 50-odd years, and to go up with him and be a part of that era, I'm just so grateful and so thankful that I had that opportunity. And I just cannot believe when Graeme Studley rang me that he's gone. He was to me Bix and to me invincible.
Big influence on your life, but
he was.
He nearly took your life, didn't he? In a grand final, or was it a prelim? Was it a prelim final?
Well, this is the untold story, but it's a true story. It was when Curls was first appointed captain coach of South. He left West Adelaide in '64.
Yep.
I umpired the '64 prelim final where South played Sturt. South making the prelim in Curls' first year as captain coach. And I was taken from the ground during the third quarter. Did not know what had struck me. I took no further part of the game. Anyway, South Adelaide somehow got up and beat Sturt in that final. They played Port TV the next week in the grand final in '64. And I was appointed the umpire of that game, subject to a fitness test after being knocked over the previous week. I'll never forget it. In those days, we used to inspect the sprigs on the ground. I did Port, said to Johnny Cale, Jack, good luck, as you do. Did to South Adelaide, and Curls was the last set of boots that I'd look at. And I said to Curls, as I said to Jack Cale, good luck, Neil. And he took one step, this is a true story, one step towards me and said, Ken, don't give us this good luck bullshit. If you don't give us a go today, I won't knock you out in the third quarter. I'll knock you out in the first quarter.
Classic story.
it's amazing.
South Adelaide won their first premiership in about 46 years.
Okay, so you held up your end of the bargain.
Yeah, we're still waiting, Ken. We haven't won one since.
Well, guys, the thing that and I love the bloke. I say that unashamedly. I've told him many times. And the thing that I've loved about him, one of the many things, is the fact that he was a self-made man. There was no silver or gold spoon in his mouth. What he achieved in life, and which was enormous, he did it because he wanted to do it his way. And he was his own man. But there was another side that I knew with Curls, that he was a very, if you're a good friend of Curls, he was a very, very loyal, honest and sincere friend. And we only spoke the other day at a cup of coffee over what plans we would do for his 90th birthday. And now to think that he's gone, I just can't come to terms with it, unfortunately.
Hey, Cage, look, he did enjoy lunch. And was there any moments when perhaps...
And never paid for one.
Here we go. I was just wondering whether you got caught up in one that perhaps you...
No, I got caught up paying for him. He never had his hand in his skyrocket in his life.
Never paid for lunch. Now the truth comes out.
Yeah.
I love it.
Some great memories, weren't they, with KG?
Oh, so many. They were very, very close, a very special friendship. And KG, he actually grew up, he was wearing number 1 on his duffel coat, his favourite player. And they, how beautiful that they later grew up to be the best of mates.
Yeah, no doubt. And, sharing some of those memories last night. And, they're at the top of their game. KG is a field umpire, and Neil Curley. I mean, we've spoken about the extraordinary contribution he made in the world of football, but not just football. He transcended that. The sporting community and the effect he's had has just been enormous. And as you just mentioned a little earlier, Jade, we spoke with Peter Malinauskas, the Premier, and there will be a state funeral after the family chose to accept that invitation, which is going to be a fitting tribute for a wonderful man.
Absolutely. Let's take a short break.
Looking good for the drive-in today. Simply some roadworks to keep your eye out for at Brooklyn Park. We've got Stobie pole works happening there. Henley Beach Road near Holbrooks Road as you're heading towards the beach. Burst Waterman at Dry Creek, Churchill Road North near Parkin Street. Sand in the Parklands, Rundle Road is closed between East Terrace and Kettleville Terrace. It's for the Illuminate Festival. Busy at the moment, Cross Road at Unley Park, and we've got a camera Anderson Walk at Smithfield. Oz Design Furniture's end of financial year sale is on now. Save up to 50% off selected sofas, dining, living, homewares and more. Ends Monday at Oz Design Furniture. T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
When it comes to FIVEAA comprehensive car insurance, choose FIVEAA's windscreen and glass cover option. And have your windscreen, glass or sunroof repaired or replaced excess-free on your first claim. Get your car glass covered and get back on the road sooner. That's FIVEAA value for you. Call us today on 13 50 50. T's and C's apply. FIVEAA is an authorised representative of the product issuer AAI Limited. Read the PDS and TMD. Call for copies.
1 in 4 Australian women experience domestic violence in their lifetime, and after years of COVID-19 lockdowns and restrictions, that number is likely to be even higher. It's no wonder domestic violence is the leading cause of women's homelessness in Australia. This year, by supporting the Salvo's Red Shield appeal, you can help women and children to find a way out of violence and a way back into a safe and stable life. With your generosity, the Salvos can walk alongside women for as long as it takes, providing crisis accommodation, longer-term housing support, warm meals, financial assistance and community support. Donate to the Red Shield appeal today at salvationarmy.org.au and help the Salvos leave no one in need.
Hi, Rodney Jane here. This month get massive winter deals at Bob Jane T-Marts. If you buy 3 tyres, we'll give you the 4th absolutely free and get up to $100 instant cashback on top brands such as Bridgestone, Yokohama, Continental, Goodyear, Dunlop and J-Trax. We have Australia's largest range of tyres from just $69 and alloy wheels from only $125. Your local Bob Jane store won't be beaten on price. We'll look after you.
T's and C's apply. This is RB Day with more tales from the bedroom thanks to Supercraft Bedding. Supercraft Bedding has been recycling before it was on trend. Did you know that we'll pick up your old mattress when we deliver your new one and have the old one recycled? The other day, Tim picked up a 45-year-old mattress that was made by us. Sure, it had seen better days, but what an innings. This is RB Day for Supercraft Bedding, building better beds at 42 Richmond Road, Keswick.
9 News has the experience to break the news. Made in Adelaide for Adelaide. 9 News.
You're listening to 5AA Breakfast. Jade Robran and Tom Wren.
Good morning. It is 8:47 on this Friday morning. Thank you so much for tuning into the program. You're listening with Jade Robran for the last 15 minutes because, Tommy, I'm out. I'm on holidays next week for the next 2 weeks. Leith Forest is hosting afternoons. I'm heading to Tassie. Going to hit the wilderness with the kids and hubby, and we're just going to take some time out, switch off from the world.
I'm very jealous. It's a beautiful part of the world. You deserve it, Jade. You've worked very hard for the first 6 months of the year, so that will be a lot of fun for you. I'll be in the chair with Michael Smith, so looking forward to 5AA Brekkie next week. But right now, we're going to check out what is happening with regards to Fuel Watch. You can download the free MyRAA app today to find the cheapest fuel in an instant. And we'll have a look around right now. Ampol, Main South Road, O'Halloran Hill is $1.94.9. The OTR at South Road at Rillington is $1.95.9. And the Ampol at Prospect Road at Blair Athol is $1.91.9. So probably the cheapest fuel we've found all week. The cheapest diesel, Liberty South Road, Clarence Gardens, $2.25.5. See where the cheapest fuel is in an instant with the free MyRAA app. Download it today.
And if you love your food, be listening to Graeme Goodings. He's in the chair this afternoon in Afternoons, just after 3 p.m, where Chris Jarma joins for the 5AA Food and Wine Show. Thanks to Smeg Building or Renovating, your first choice should be visiting the Smeg showroom at Debney Distributors. Taste the difference with Smeg and Cheapest Chips. That is one of my favourites when Chris comes in. And guess what? He actually leaves the food that he cooks as my Friday dinner. It's
He's
the best.
So generous, isn't he?
Mind you, Rowie normally gets to it before I do. So, yeah, thanks, mate. Now, we've been having a bit of a laugh today because dear old Anthony Albanese arrived in Paris and had a meeting with Canadian President Justin Trudeau, who appeared to have forgotten his name.
It's a real pleasure to be meeting with a great progressive leader. We're really, really excited to have a friend in Australia. Australia's been a long-time friend, but with Prime Minister Albanese, we have someone now who we're going to be able to dig into on.
I love it. With Albanese, he got
he got the surname. He got the hard part right, but I love that. A long-time friend whose name I can't remember.
Yes, so close. Speaking of which, we've been so close all week, but then you forgot my name.
Because fresh seafood and morning coffees, as you said, Jane, they aren't going anywhere. Just goes to show you can't throw stones in glass houses, can you?
Oh, no, because then Sam got it wrong.
Because we all know the lovely Jade Robran, and her name is Jade.
Yeah, it is Jade, but not Jade Robran. And then I thought, oh, here we go. Jade hasn't got anything wrong today. Ha ha. And then I called you guys the Bill and Bob Flower Pot Men. And our text lines have gone a little bit crazy from Paul and Frankie. Good morning, guys. Jade stuffed up when she said Bill and Bob the Flower Pot Men. It was actually Bill and Ben. And Frankie's said the same thing. So
people are quick, aren't they?
We have all stuffed up today. It's Friday. I need that gin that we were talking about earlier in the show. Whoops-a-daisy.
Well, we can be forgiven. Hopefully it is Friday. But I reckon if people picked up every time I got a name wrong, goodness, we would have to go well into Leon's show. We'd probably have to take the whole day to pick out all the errors.
Well, one guy that's always watching, lurking in the wilderness, just waiting for one of us to stuff up is our good mate Blakey. Behind closed doors, Aussie Fast Transport Solutions are looking for a subcontract drivers right now. You can call 13 13 64. That is 13 13 64.
And when we get behind closed,
$13.95. Adelaide's 5AA. This is Jade Robran.
Oh, here we go.
And welcome along to the program. Great to be with you again. I'm mad about Golden North ice cream, and why has the zoo gone with Peter's ice cream? We'll talk about that today. Are you mad about their decision? Has it annoyed you? Have you had a meltdown over it? Or are you like most people and don't give a rat's about the habitats of orangutans, considering most of us don't pronounce orangutan properly, let alone care about what trees they live in? Also, something to look forward to today is every now and then I'll put on an American accent for no reason, so that'll be exciting. A bit later in the show, our motoring experts from drive.com.au will be on, and you can ask them some some questions if you have some. We'll also be talking to Elaine Benstead from the zoo about the decision to get rid of Golden North ice cream. But after 4 o'clock today, Roey's Sports Show, and he joins us now to tell us what's coming up on the show. How are you, mate?
Oh, Jade, I'm good. I'll be listening to that because I love Golden North ice cream.
Oh, you do?
Yep, I do.
Well, how do you feel about the zoo getting rid of Golden North?
I don't like it at all because Golden North twins are my favourite ice cream, even though I don't know their proper name.
Yeah, giant twins.
Yeah, North twins.
Giant twins.
Golden Giants, yeah.
Giant twins.
I love them.
Giant twins?
Yeah, Golden Giants are my favourite. Proud South Australian company. My record is 6 in one sitting.
What? 6?
Yeah, I reckon that's how I lost my gallbladder. I ate too many Golden Twin Giants.
Giant twins?
Yeah, I ate too many. So that was me promoting a great South Australian company, Golden North, by telling everyone it killed my gallbladder.
Yeah, great work, Roey.
I reckon any moment now they'll be giving me a call to hire me as their ambassador.
Oh my gosh.
I haven't heard you do an American accent.
I don't think I do an American accent until today. I'm not sure, though. That was terrible, wasn't it? He is so clever. This is fantastic, Tom. If you know someone who is doing it tough and would benefit from receiving a Leader Computers Breeze 404 14-inch notebook, we would love you to let us know. And maybe together with Leader Computers, we can help out. All you need to do is visit the FIVEAA win page and tell us in 25 words or less who should be awarded with a Leader computer and why. Now, you might not know this, but Leader Computers is a national PC manufacturer and the largest 100% Australian PC brand, and they're all built right here in Adelaide. That means you are supporting the local SA economy while also supporting local businesses right here in our great state. So whether it's a friend or a school or maybe a sporting club who want to nominate, get onto the FIVEAA website, that is fiveaa.com.au, and let us know. You can also Google Leader Computers to find out your closest Leader reseller.
Brilliant stuff. Yeah, great stuff, Jade. Not long until we are finished. A reminder, though, that Leon Biner, he's going to be coming up after 9 o'clock today, and then the sports show a little bit later on with Timmy Ginniver. And then tonight, round 16 coverage continues. Carlton up against St Kilda, and 2 big games over the weekend for the Crows, taking on Melbourne tomorrow at home. Looks like the weather, it's going to be okay, Jade, for that game.
Yeah, 14 degrees tomorrow at Adelaide Oval. Yeah, but perfect footy weather. I like that.
Rug up and, pack the duffel coat, make sure you've got that all ready to go, and hopefully see another big Crows upset over the D's as they did last year. And then on Sunday, we'll be calling all of the action as well when Fremantle host Port Adelaide in what is another big, almost mini final for the Power on Sunday twilight.
Now, you need to rest your tonsils because you're actually hosting those two or calling the game because we've got a few on the bench due to COVID again.
Yeah, they've got the red vest on at the moment. David Wildy, unfortunately, he is out of action, but hopefully he'll be back next week. So I'll be in the chair, I reckon, with Roey for both games. So a double dose of Roey, that'll be a bit of fun.
Oh, yeah!
Good on you, mate. And now, what have you got for the weekend? I know you're going to Tassie, but are you doing much before you head there?
We've just got school sport again, and then we've got a nice lunch on Sunday. I want to get to the football, actually, on Saturday afternoon, so we'll see how that one goes. But, no, I'm going to do some nice research and just check out some nice places to go. And, Luce just said, how's my sick kid? My sick kid's okay now.
Has he come good?
He's come good. And I must admit, I've been blown away by the treatment from Women's and Children. I got another text message from them yesterday. So it was last Friday that we were there. So I got a text message from them yesterday from the nurse on duty, touching base just to see how he's going and just to confirm he's on the right medication. So amazing care.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it? And, look, they do at times cop a bit of a bad rap. We know that the health system can sometimes be under a lot of stress.
They're understaffed. They do their best.
That's right, absolutely. And look, I've, had to experience it myself with some issues from time to time as we all go through, but nothing but love and support from those people. They do a wonderful job. So it's great to hear you've had a similar experience.
The Tour de France also kicks off tonight.
Yes.
First stage in Denmark, which I know you're super excited about. I always love when there's a cycling event on because you notice the increase of cyclists around town. Everyone gets their lycra out and starts running around town.
Wannabes?
Yeah. And they're just not. They're not. And that's me. I'm talking about me because I'm now, I'm going to go pump the tyres up and head out and ride my bike. And I'm one of those people that
but I love
probably shouldn't be in Lycra.
I love the ones that try and squeeze into the Lycra that probably shouldn't be squeezing into the Lycra. And I know,
it's not a pretty sight.
And then
so
afterwards,
if you see me, you can...
They go for their 5K ride and then they have about 4 lattes afterwards and, just undo all of that good work that they've done.
Of course. Well, are you really a cyclist if you don't stop at the cafe for half the day? Also, starting tonight, which is exciting, I'm heading off to the opening of this, which is Illuminate.
Yes.
It starts this afternoon.
We spoke about that earlier, didn't we?
Yeah, we did earlier in the show. Lee Cumberledge, who is the co-director there, very, very clever man, came up with the idea during COVID, pre-COVID it was, and then they launched it and it got hit by COVID, hit by storms. It was shut down for a couple of weeks and has come back bigger, better than ever for the second year this year. But I saw it a couple of times last year and it was just beautiful.
Yeah, it goes for the month of July, so looking forward to that. Tasting Australia, also the Winter Series gets underway. Jade, it's been an absolute pleasure being on with you this week. Have a great couple of weeks off and look forward to you coming back after that.
Thanks, Tom. It's been great. Have a great weekend. Enjoy next week.
Soak up the winter rain and huge savings at Vidoulis Garden Centre's massive end of financial year sale. Get 20% off everything in store.